Mic check for the YouTube stream. Mic check for the YouTube stream.
Good morning. My name is Nancy Oman, and I will be chairing today's Scarborough Committee of Adjustment hearing. Panel members joining me today are Eric Howe, Asif Khan, Anne McCauley, and David Stinson. In accordance with sections 45 and 53 of the Planning Act 1990 as amended, this meeting of the Committee of Adjustment for the City of Toronto is called to order. The Committee of Adjustment considers applications for variances from the provisions of the zoning that apply to the property, permission to extend or alter lawful non-conforming uses, and consent to sever property to create new lots. We acknowledge that the land we are meeting on is the traditional territory of many nations, including the Mississaugas of the Credit, the Anishinaabe, the Chippewa, the Haudenosaunee, and the Wendat peoples, and it is now home to many diverse First Nations, Inuit, and Métis peoples. We also acknowledge that Toronto is covered by Treaty 13 with the Mississaugas of the Credit and the Williams Treaty signed with multiple Mississaugas and Chippewa bands. Committee of Adjustment public hearings are conducted in a hybrid in-person and virtual format. Some applicants and participants will make their submissions in person, and others will participate virtually through WebEx, an online digital platform. The meetings are streamed on the Toronto City Planning YouTube channel, and anyone wishing to view the hearing can watch on YouTube. Those who choose to participate virtually and registered in advance will be connecting by video or audio. All virtual participants will be automatically muted upon entry. When your item is called, you will be unmuted by the moderator, one person at a time. We ask that you mute your devices until you are called upon to speak. Those participating by video will be temporarily upgraded to panelists when their item is called. And during this time, your camera will be enabled. You will only be visible during your allotted speaking time or to answer questions. At all other times, your video will be disabled and you will be reinstated as an attendee. For both in-person and virtual participants, Committee of Adjustment staff will share presentations submitted in accordance with the written submission deadline. Those participating via WebEx are not allowed to use the share screen or any other panelist controls during a video appearance. The host will remove you from the panelist role if you fail to respect this instruction. People attending in person today who want to receive a copy of the committee's decision on an application must fill out a decision request card, and those participating virtually need to submit a written request for the decision by email. Please include your name, address, and email address because the Committee of Adjustment and the Toronto local appeal body known as TLAB will be sending notifications and appeal updates by email only. If you do not agree with the committee's decision, you may be able to appeal the decision to the Toronto local appeal body or in some limited circumstances to the Ontario Land Tribunal. However, the provincial government amended the Planning Act and generally removed the right of third parties to appeal Committee of Adjustment decisions. Only the applicant, the Minister of Municipal Affairs and Housing, specified persons, and public bodies, as those terms are defined in the Planning Act, are permitted to appeal decisions of the Committee of Adjustment. Appeal instructions are set out at the bottom of the decision of the committee. I will call each item in the order listed on the agenda. Where an application is uncontested, the agent or applicant may proceed with their presentation if desired, and when the committee does not require a presentation, applicants are to advise the chair should they wish to speak to the committee. The committee may ask questions and/or take the matter into committee for a decision. Each speaker, including the applicant or agent, will be given a maximum of 5 minutes to address the committee, and I'll comment when you are reaching the 5-minute mark. Any presentation or other supporting material you wish to submit to the committee must have been emailed in advance of the hearing. Staff and committee members cannot accept materials at the hearing. When addressing the committee, please clearly state your name and address. Please remember to confine your remarks to the matters outlined in the application. The applicant or agent will proceed first and will make a presentation to the committee on the application. Please note that the committee may not entertain revisions to proposals at the hearing today. The committee may decide to defer the application if substantially revised to ensure the revisions are accurate and that all those entitled to notice of the application are informed of the changes. Then individuals either in support or opposed to the application will be invited to speak. Generally, we first call on speakers in the hearing room and then those participating through WebEx. Committee members may ask questions of each speaker after they have finished their presentation. And when all speakers are finished, the applicant or agent has an opportunity to rebut only those issues that were raised by the speakers. This will mark the end of the discussion, and the application will then be taken into committee for a decision. Panel members, can I have a motion to adopt the minutes from the last meeting? Yeah, go ahead.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I would like to move the adoption of minutes of January 14,
Okay.
2026 as circulated.
Okay, Mr. Stinson.
Thank you, Chair. I'd like to second the motion.
Okay, so we have a motion to adopt the minutes from the last meeting, moved by Mr. Khan, seconded by Mr. Stinson. All in favor? That motion carries unanimously. Mr. Deputy Secretary Treasurer, are there any items to be closed or deferred?
Through the chair, we do not have any items to be closed. There are 3 items for deferral.
Okay, and are there any interest to declare by staff or panel members before we go to the deferral? Seeing none. Okay. So to you, Mr. Deputy Secretary Treasurer, for the deferral items.
So through the chair, the first deferral request is for item number 7, 610 Coronation Drive. Deferral at the request of the applicant to address concerns identified by neighbors.
Okay, okay, is there anybody in the audience that's here to speak to 610 Coronation Drive? Yes? Are you speaking, sir? No? 610 Coronation, there's nobody here? Okay, do you have anybody online? Okay, while you're looking, so we have before us, just give me 1 second here. Okay, 610 Coronation Street. We have one variance before us, which is to allow a recreational use on a lot that does not front a major street on the policy map. And it's to permit a recreational use for in an industrial building. And we have a lot of material before us. We have a lot of support. We have a deferral request from the agent to address objections. We have a public hearing notice, location map, plan of survey and plans, a cover letter from MHBC, and presentation materials from the agent, as well as tree and site photos. Community planning is asking for refusal. Economic development is also asking for refusal report. And ravine and natural feature protection have no concerns. And we do have a letter in support from the local councillor. We also have opposition from 565 Coronation Drive, 50 Wood Garden, and 404 Livingston Road. So go ahead, Mr. Deputy Secretary Treasurer.
Through the chair, there are two neighbors who are opposed to the application, who are registered online and who wish to speak.
What about the applicant? I'm showing them in person. They're also online?
Through the chair, yes, they're online.
Okay, could I have the applicant then, please?
Good morning, Madam Chair. My name's Oz Kamal with MHBC Planning, here on behalf of the owner for 610 Coronation Drive. We're requesting the deferral, mainly because the comments that we received late last week with respect to the surrounding employment users and flagging transportation concerns and public safety. Want to have an opportunity to speak with my clients and see if they want to engage further in this application with respect to pulling together additional studies to try and address those concerns, namely a land use compatibility study and a transportation study, as public safety and transportation issues were flagged. Which also echoed what the residents were flagging in their commentary with respect to high traffic volumes.
Can I just ask you, I just want to focus on the economic development report and the planning reports that are recommending refusal based on the use, which, so are you contemplating a use change, or because those reports are not going to go away?
No, I understand that. We asked for a meeting with planning staff. The use itself, a rec use in this zone is permitted if it's on a major street, and because we're not on a major street, that's why we asked for the minor variance. When we did the when we did the land use inventory of the street, there are other recreational uses all along the north side. There's swim schools, there's pickleball courts, there's gyms on the north side. So when we originally engaged in the application, we did see this as a minor variance application. So when we received the refusal report, or the notification for refusal from planning, we were surprised, but we asked for meetings, we just couldn't get them, and then we were actively engaged with ECDEV on ideally a letter of support. So we were surprised to see a letter of refusal as opposed to just silence from ECDEV. So I understand. I think what I'd like to do though is just have the deferral right now, sine die, and then give me an opportunity to speak with the clients to see if they want to continue pursuing this application or just outright withdraw it.
Okay, so you will also, you'll do that and also potentially speak to the other departments that gave you reports.
That's correct.
So it's not just to engage with opposition members. 'Cause that's
No,
what the original deferral said.
Yeah, no, it's to try and address all of the comments to see if we can get various opinions swayed the other way. But we
Okay,
understand that it's a significant challenge.
okay. I'm going to go to your opposition and we'll come back to you.
Through the chair, Catherine Down, you're unmuted.
Thank you very much. Good morning.
Okay,
Yeah, go ahead.
Hi. I'm sorry, what's your name?
My name is Catherine Down.
Catherine Down, okay. And what's your address?
565 Coronation Drive.
Okay, so Catherine, we're actually only dealing with the deferral request right now. So I know you've probably prepared a presentation, but I'm only going to ask you right now whether or not you're in favor of a deferral.
Yeah, that's fine by us.
Okay, so if I can leave it there and go to the other objector, thank you.
Through the chair, that is the final objector online.
Okay, I think the applicant has given us some enough rationale as to why we should consider a deferral. So I'm going to take it into committee and I'd like some feedback on the deferral request. Ms. McCauley?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I agree with the applicant that for request for deferral, he needs to speak to economic development and planning staff and take a good look at their concerns, as well as the concerns of the community.
Okay, anybody else? Any comments? No, Mr. Stinson?
Thank you, Chair. I just concur with my colleague, Ms. McCauley. I think in light of you fleshing out for all of us here and the public that this is more than just talking to residents, which is always important. It's also talking to departments. I think a deferral is warranted. Thank you.
Okay, Ms. McCauley, you want to turn that into a motion?
I move deferral of this application at the applicant's request.
Through the chair, the reason, for the record, there needs to be a reason for the deferral.
Okay, so Ms. McCauley, the reason for the deferral is to consult with city staff and his client. Is that okay with you?
Can I just say yes?
Yes, we can.
So to address concerns identified by neighbors and
And the city staff.
got it.
Thank you, Chair. I'll second the motion.
All right, so we have a motion to defer for the applicant to consult with his client as well as city staff, moved by Ms. McCauley, seconded by Mr. Stinson. All in favor? That carries unanimously. Thank you. Okay, and Mr. Deputy Secretary Treasurer.
The second, through the chair, the second deferral request is for item number 10, 3320 Midland Avenue, deferral at the request of the applicant to address concerns identified by community planning.
Okay, I don't see any speakers listed. Do we have the agent here? So this is item number 10, 3320 Midland Avenue. Bear with me a second.
And committee members. My name is
Yeah.
Mo Chen Xu.
Okay, thank you. Just give me 1 second. So this application is to alter the existing commercial building by constructing interior alterations to convert the existing retail units into a restaurant. And we have before us the deferral request from the agent, as mentioned by the Deputy Secretary Treasurer, public hearing notice, location map, plan of survey and plans, supporting materials from the agent, as well as tree site photos and presentation materials. And the Director of Planning has a report. So, sorry, go ahead.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the reason for this request is that we recently received the planning department's comments, including a refusal recommendation letter, which was issued last Thursday. So based on planning's feedback, we would like the opportunity to revise our proposal, including adjustment to the site layout and overall design, in order to properly address the planning concerns that have been identified. Therefore, we respectfully ask that the committee defer this application to a future hearing date. Thank you very much for your time and consideration.
Hi, can you just state your name and address again for the record? I don't think we got your address.
Yeah, my name is Mengchen Xu and my address is 1505 150 Fairview Mall Drive, North York, Ontario, M2J0E7.
Thank you very much. All right, panel members, to the deferral. Ms. McCauley?
Thank you. I recommend deferral of this application at the applicant's request to allow them time to reconsider their application and consult with community plan.
Okay, very good. Do I have a seconder?
Thank you, Chair. I'll second the motion.
All right, I have a motion to defer so that at the request of the agent to consult with planning, make possible revisions, moved by Ms. McCauley, seconded by Mr. Howe. All in favor? That carries unanimously. Thank you. Okay, Mr. Deputy Secretary Treasurer, next one.
Through the chair, the last deferral request for the session is item number 15, 9 Haig Avenue. Deferral at the request of the applicant to address concerns identified by community planning.
All right. Panel members, this is, in a second here, my computer is not moving. All right, this application is for 9 Haig Avenue, and it's to alter the existing 2-story detached dwelling by constructing a 1-story addition with extended porch in the front yard, as well as an extended deck in the rear yard. We have a deferral request, as mentioned. Public hearing notice is before us, as well as location map, plan of survey and plans, tree and site photos, and community planning report. And do we have the agent on the line?
Through the chair, we do not have the agent on the line. Nope.
Is there anybody in the audience for 9 Haig? No?
Through the chair, the agent is not online, but the agent has submitted a deferral request. So if the committee wishes, you can proceed.
I think we can deal with this one.
And there are no speakers registered online.
Okay, thank you. All right, panel members, I think we can deal with this one. It's a request for deferral by the agent. So, Mr. Howe.
Thank you, Chair. Through you, I move deferral of this application at the request of the applicant and on the recommendation of the community planning staff, so the parties may address their concerns through an amicable discussions.
Okay. Mr. Stinson.
Thank you, Chair. I'll second the motion.
All right, we have a motion to defer as requested by the applicant to have discussions with planning, moved by Mr. Howe, seconded by Mr. Stinson. All in favor? That carries unanimously. Okay. Is that it? That's it for deferrals?
Through the chair, that is it.
Okay, so we're now going to deal with item number 1, which is 93 DONSIDE Drive. And this is to obtain consent to sever the property into 2 residential lots and to build 3-story dwellings on each of the lots. We have before us a draft our plan of survey, public hearing notice, location map, plan of survey and plans. We have a red line public notice, so this will be as amended. Revised site plan, floor plans and elevations, a cover letter from Mr. Litavsky, the agent. We have photos of the site. We have forestry is asking for condition number 3 on both parcels, and they also have advisory comments. We have a planning report with conditions, and engineering has conditions and advisory comments. And I am not showing any speakers other than the agent And I'm not sure, is there anybody in the audience for 93 DONSIDE? You the agent, sir?
Madam Chair, my name's Russ Gregory. I'm the agent.
Okay, and I also need your address just for the record.
I'm from 18 Paradise Avenue in Markham.
Thank you, sir. Panel members, do you need a presentation on this one? Or can we go to questions? Does anybody have any questions for the agent? No? All right. Mr. Gregory, we're ready to make a decision on this. Is there anything you want to add before we take it into committee?
Madam Chair, I will say nothing right now if a presentation is not required. This is a project that we're looking forward to and getting building permits going. So.
All right, sir, we'll take it into committee then. Panel members? Mr. Stinson.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Chair. A couple of things. One is there's conditions from various city departments, and so that's very normal and easy to take in. I will note that there was one letter of objection, but there was 7 support signatures and identifications for this file. So looking at the totality of it, I believe it meets the 4 test rule. I also find that there's been consultation with the public at large through proper notice, and I would move that we proceed with approving the application.
Okay, and I believe it would be as amended because there's a red line notice. So it would be, you did make those revisions, right? So it would be as amended.
Correct.
Okay, and then also including planning.
So the conditions would be for tree protection and plan review, community planning, engineering review, and those conditions are noted in the file.
Okay, do I have a seconder for this item?
Thank you, Chair. I'll second the motion.
Okay, so the motion then is to approve the application as amended and including the forestry condition, which is number 3 on both parcels, as well as engineering conditions and planning conditions. Okay, and that's moved by Mr. Stinson, seconded by Mr. Howe. All in favor? That carries unanimously. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.
Yep, it's for both. It's for the consent and the variances. All right, item number 2 is for 152 Pine Grove Avenue. And we have before us a draft plan of survey, public hearing notice, location map, plan of survey and plans, a red line public hearing, also with revisions. So it's a revised site plan, floor plans and elevations, a cover letter from the agent, tree and site photos, and presentation materials. We have an engineering report that has conditions and advisory comments. Forestry is asking for conditions 1, 2, and 3. And we also had support letters from both adjacent neighbors at 154 and 150, as well as residents on Highview, Woodrow, Aylesworth, and Craigley, and one opposition letter from number 142. I am showing speakers on this one. Is there anybody in the audience for 152 Pine Grove? Okay, and the agent is on the line, I guess. All right, can we have the agent, please?
The committee.
Hi, can you give us your name and address for the record, please?
My name is Nusrat Jahan, address 3400 Danforth Avenue, suite number 5.
All right, we have a couple of speakers, so can you do a brief presentation, please?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, your 5 minutes starts as soon as you start speaking.
I would request the staff. Yeah, thank you so much. So this application is to request for approval of minor variance and consent. We are requesting to sever this property into 2 parts, 2 residential lots, and to construct 2 3-story triplex. The existing 1-story dwelling will be demolished. The next slide, please. So this is the location map where the red dot is the location of 152 Pine Grove. And this is neighborhood Barge Cliff Cliffside. The next slide, please. These are the marked properties which have similar frontage and lot area, similar to our property. And these properties are within 500 meters of the property, of our property. So they all have mostly 7.62 meter frontage and lot area closer to our proposal. Next slide, please. Yeah, if you see the table, these are the properties which were red marked in the previous slides, and they have all same frontage as our proposal, and the lot area is closer to our proposal. And these all properties are within 500 meters of 152 Pine Grove. Next slide, please. So these are the minor variances for both parts. Both of them have 5 variances. So I have talked about the lot area and frontage variance. As I have shown in the previous slides, these are similar to the properties within 500 meters of our property. And the third one is the length. It is beyond, a little beyond the permitted length, which is 17 meters. This was because we wanted to build a functional and standard dwelling and also fulfill owner's need. And when the community planner and ECS went through this proposal, they showed no objection on this variance. Next slide, please. So similar to the length, the coverage for this application is little beyond the permitted, which is 45%. Same reason that we wanted to build a functional and standard dwelling, and this was this caused a little beyond the permitted value. Next variance is on the main wall height. The main wall height. This was initially our proposal was 9.75, but with the request and recommendation of community planner, we reduced it to 9 meters. Next one, please. We wanted to respond to concerns of 142 Pine Grove Avenue. He has concern, the owner has concern on height of building, but our height is within 10 meters, which is the max amount, max value for multiplex. There was also concern on number of story. If we look at the bylaw 474/2023, we'll see that for multiplex, permitted maximum number of story does not apply. He has also concern on single family home. So if I want to bring out the property 160 Pine Grove Avenue, which is just one house after our property, it's a residential condo or townhome, which is a 3-story and has multiple tenants. So there are multiple family homes within our property, within this community. And city official plan also supports multiplex, which has multiple units. And this is encouraged all throughout the city. About the parking number, City of Toronto has no restrictions or regulations at this point on number of parking. For this property, we proposed 2 parking spaces, each for 1 for each part. I also want to bring out that we have applied to urban forestry and the review is ongoing. We'll comply with all the urban forestry conditions. That's all. Please, we are requesting for approval of this application. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I'm going to go to the opposition and then we'll come back to you. Okay, folks, are you both speaking? Hi, can you hear me? Okay, can you come up to the mic? Are you both speaking?
No, but he, I don't see very well, so he'll help me if I have problems with my notes.
Okay, so the first thing I need you to do is to identify yourself, your name and address for the record,
Yes,
and then you can start your presentation. You have 5 minutes to speak.
thank you. My name is Jean Dyer, and I live at 140 Pine Grove Avenue.
Go ahead.
Okay, so when we purchased our home on Pine Grove, that was about 15 years ago, it was my understanding that the 50-foot lots would never be subdivided. These are the ones that are opposite the green belt. Now, this avenue, Pine Grove Avenue, serves many students walking back and forth from school every day. There are 3 schools in the area. There are also people who walk their dogs and they walk to do their exercises every day at all hours of the day. During the winter, they do tobogganing in a depression that is between Highview, Kingston Road, and Pine Grove Avenue. So there is a lot of walking, a lot of pedestrians in the area at all hours of the day. There are no sidewalks along Pine Grove. Especially not along that stretch anyway. Okay, now it makes sense to keep traffic along that stretch of to a minimum for the safety of those pedestrians. To subdivide that lot, 152, and erect the proposed 2 3-story buildings would first of all not align with the character of the existing neighborhood. The average house on Pine Grove is a single-family home which accommodates 2 to 5 individuals. Some have an apartment in their basements, and an average of 2 vehicles. The 3-story buildings that are being proposed would have 1 garage each. The lady just said they're allowed for 2 parking spaces each. That's two, and what does that say? And 8 individual units with a total of 22 bedrooms, 14 bathrooms, 8 kitchens, and laundry rooms for each floor, and 8 laundry rooms. That could accommodate up to 30 individuals. Assuming there are 2 cars per unit, no, remembering now that each building has, how many units? 4 units. Assuming that there are 2 cars per unit, we could end up with 16 plus vehicles. And we don't know where they would accommodate 16 vehicles, except they'd all be parking along the road all the time. It's also a no parking. You can't park on one side of the road. You're only allowed to park on one side. Each of the 8 units would require 3 garbage bins. That would make a total of 24 garbage bins stored in the front yard of each building. This is not a minor variance that is being proposed, but it is a shift from a family-oriented neighborhood to a high-density for-profit area. We're asking the committee to regret this proposal. And I ask you to look very carefully at the floor plans, the way they have been manipulated, to see where it says a wet bar on the first floor.
No, basement.
Well, it says in the basement. There is also a full kitchen on the second floor of that unit. You know, they say it's a triplex, so they're supposed to be 3 units. But the fact is that the first unit comprises the main floor and the basement. And there is a full kitchen in the basement and what they call a wet bar on the first floor. All that needs is a stove and it becomes a full kitchen. So I don't think the drawings are truthful. I really think you need to look very carefully at the way they've been manipulated. We're asking you to reject this proposal. I don't think it's an appropriate building for our area.
Okay, thank
Thank
you
you.
very much for your feedback. Panel members, anyone have any questions for the speakers? Mr. Stinson.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you very much for your presentation. Can you hear my voice? Okay, good. Two questions. Just to confirm, you live at 160 Pine Grove?
Yeah. What?
140?
140.
Okay, I didn't hear that correctly. My apologies. And also on your street today, do you have different homes of different sizes? Some of them like 160, that's the number I guess I was thinking of for 160.
60 was grandfathered in and has been there from, I think, in 1960. Right? It has adequate parking. There's nothing on the first floor but parking. The first floor level, there's a parking area, and under the building, it's all parking. It's a relatively small, well-kept
Unit.
unit, right? So it is nothing compared to what they are suggesting to be putting a few doors away from it.
Okay, thank you very much, sir. Thank you, ma'am.
Any other questions, panel members? Okay, no, thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.
Do we have another speaker on the line?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can, but if you can speak up a bit, that would be great. And if you could identify yourself for the record.
Okay, thank you. My name is Ephraim Scarborough, and I live at 150 Pine Grove Avenue.
Okay, sir, you have 5 minutes. Go ahead.
Yeah, my concern is very similar to the previous speaker. I have received an amendment over the weekend. I believe it was on Saturday, indicating there are a total of 22 bedrooms and 16 parking spots. And I don't think there is enough space for 16 spots. And again, it's the previous speaker, I think she summarized it very well exactly what my concern is. There aren't enough parking spots for 16 cars in that space.
Okay, are you aware the city is asking for less parking on development now to encourage people to use transit? I just want to ask you that. And my other question is, I show you actually having signed a support letter. So are you in support or you're now objecting? So you're changing your position, sir?
Well, here's the thing. I signed it before I received this amended proposal.
I
got
see.
this, so it's kind of, if I had seen this proposal for 22 bedrooms, 16 parking lots, I would have a serious question. So yes,
Okay, so you don't support it any longer, so I can remove you as a supporter then.
correct.
Okay, sir. Panel members, anyone have any questions for the speaker? Okay, thank you, sir. We don't have any questions.
Thank you.
I think that's it for speakers, staff. Just want to confirm in case there's somebody else. Okay. Can we go back to the agent then? Thanks.
Yes, Madam Chair.
Hi, Ms. Jahan, can you please speak to the issues raised?
Yes, the number of bedrooms, there was concern. We have reduced the number of bedrooms from 11 to 9, which complies with the multi-tenant policies, because for every unit you have to have maximum 3 bedrooms. So that's what we have proposed in our revised plan. So right now total we have 9 bedrooms. And regarding other rooms, there are no specific regulation or bylaw which can prohibit us to have other rooms as maybe study room or prayer room or recreation room. So we are within the bylaw in that case. The parking space, as I have said, we have 2 parking spaces at this lot at this point, 1 for each part, and City of Toronto has no restrictions on that. So we are So this is our proposal at this point. We do not have the number of bedrooms that the neighbors are talking about. Yes, about the wet bar, Unit 1 has wet bar. We can remove that wet bar. And this is also, after this committee, it will go through zoning review again. If the zoning examiner feels that we have to remove it, we will remove it. So in that case, each unit will have one kitchen, basically. Yeah, I believe I have.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, thanks. Panel members, do any of you have any questions for the agent? Okay, I'm not seeing any questions, so we'll take it into committee. Any comments, Mr. Howe?
Thank you, Chair. I can start. The agent's supporting material had shown a number of examples in the adjacent area. So this, first of all, this is with respect to the consent to sever. The agent's supporting materials showed a number of examples in the adjacent area showing similar frontage and lot sizes compared to the current proposal. Overall, they're all within 500 meters of the current proposal. So overall, I'm satisfied the prevailing size and configuration of the several lots reinforces the character of the neighborhood. I think this application meets subsection 5124 of the Planning Act. So this is with respect to the consent to sever. Regarding the variances, we heard a number of concerns from the neighbor, but I do want to note that this committee only has jurisdiction to deal with the variances before us. So aside from the severances related to severance, there are basically only 3 variances before us. And essentially those are variances 3, 4, and 5 being the lot area, the permitted building length, and the height of the main walls. And overall, on review of those 3 variances, they appear minor, in my opinion, and meets the 4 tests of the Planning Act. Now, the concerns we heard were mainly about the height, number of stories, and parking. Unfortunately, of those 3 concerns, only the main wall height is what's before us in terms of a variance. And the height before us is a main wall height, right? The permitted maximum height for a triplex is 10 meters, and the main wall height in this case is 9. So that appears to be minor in my opinion as well. So subject to my colleagues' opinions, I feel the variances before us are also minor. That meets the 4 tests of the Planning Act, and I would therefore move approval of this application.
I just have one question. I don't know if I heard it wrong, but did you say the permitted main wall height is 10 meters? It's 7.5. I thought you said 10.
No, I meant the permitted maximum.
Okay.
Maximum height from zoning is 10.
Okay.
So in this case, the height variance is only about the main wall,
Okay.
which is at 9, which is below the
Yeah,
maximum
I thought you were.
maximum zoning bylaw permitted. So
Make sure you're
yeah.
referring.
No,
to
thank
the
you.
actual
Thank you.
variance. Okay, anybody else, any comments? You want to make a motion then?
Thank you, Chair. Based on what I said previously, I move approval of this application, as amended, and subject to engineering review conditions
And forestry?
and urban forestry.
Yeah, forestry 1, 2, and 3. And that's we're doing everything together.
That's right. That's for the consent and
Okay. All right, do I have a seconder?
Thank you, Charles. Seconded for the consent and the variances.
All right, there's a motion before us to approve the application as amended, as outlined by the applicant, changing variances 5 on both of the home build for the 3-story detached triplex to 9 meters, and also including forestry conditions 1, 2, and 3, engineering conditions plus advisory reports. So as amended, moved by Mr. Howe, seconded by Mr. Stinson, all in favor? That carries unanimously. The application is approved. Okay. You can ask staff, okay? We're going to item number 3, which is number 2 Granger Avenue. We have before us a public hearing notice, location map, plan of survey and plans. We have photos of the site. And we have forestry asking for condition number 3. And we have a Metrolinx advisory report, I believe. Okay, so number 3 Granger Avenue. We have 3 variances before us, and this is to construct a new 2-story rear yard garden suite. Do we have anybody in the audience for number 2 Granger? Okay, not showing any speakers. Do I have the agent on the line? Mr. Davari, are you there?
Good morning, Madam Chair and committee's member.
Hi, I need your name and address for the record, please.
Sure, my name is Murtaza Davari, the designer and authorized agent for the owner of 2 Granger Avenue. My address is 38 Young Street, Suite 6060, Toronto.
Thank you, sir. I don't think we need a presentation, panel members. Anyone have any questions? Mr. Khan.
Thank you, madam. I would appreciate to know what is the distance between the main building and the garden suite.
Yes, the distance between the main building and the garden suite, the main floor is 9.64 meter. And from the main building to the second floor is 9.03 meter.
Thank you.
My pleasure.
Anyone have any other questions? Ms. McCauley.
Yes, it's really a question about the lane in the back of this lot. Will that development have access from the lane?
Pardon me, could you please repeat again?
The plan I see shows that there is a 10-foot lane at the back of these lots. That's where you're building the garden suite.
That's correct.
Okay. My question is, will you have access to the garden suite or to the remainder of the development from that lane?
Yes, we have access to the Glenview Street from that way.
Okay, and you're going to use that access for what?
No, actually, we use that space as a parking space. It's existing one, and then also provide access to the garden suite.
Do you own that lane?
No, it's just shown as part of the driveway. So it's not for sure it's the city property.
Right. So you can't use the lane for parking because it's the city property, correct?
No, that's correct. So just for as a clarification, the parking space is shown inside the property, not on the city property.
Okay. All right.
Okay, I just want to make a correction to what I said here. I think this is a mistake on my sheet. I don't see a Metrolinx report, so I'm just gonna remove that. Unless we didn't receive it, maybe staff, you can double check.
Chair, I may be able to help you with some assistance. I dug a little deeper here, and if you continue past urban forestry, there is actually an email only from Metrolinx. It's just not listed in the recipe card, if you will.
Okay, I don't see it. Anyway, can maybe Mr. Deputy Secretary Treasurer, can you clarify, is it an email only?
Through the chair, it is correct. It's not bookmarked
Yeah.
in the agenda. My apologies.
Okay, no worries. Is there any other questions, panel members, for the agent? Okay, Mr. Davari, we don't have any more questions. Is there anything you want to add before we go into committee that's not in the materials before us?
No, thank you so much. I really appreciate for your attention.
Okay, thank you, sir. Okay, we're in committee, panel members. Mr. Khan.
Thank you, ma'am. I would like to move, we have 3 variances in front of us. I would like to move this application be approved with forestry condition, although there are no recommendation from the staff.
It's forestry condition number 3, I believe, right?
Through the chair, yes. And there's also Metrolinx conditions.
So they're up.
They are in the supplementary agenda.
Okay. Find them. Okay. All right, so there's also Metrolinx conditions and its forestry does have condition number 3.
Yeah.
So you're moving it with that
That's right.
because you feel it meets the 4 tests, right?
That's
Okay. Mr. Stinson.
Thank you, Chair. I'll second that motion.
Okay, so we have a motion to approve the application moved by Mr. Khan, seconded by Mr. Stinson, including forestry condition number 3, as well as Metrolinx condition to approve the application. All in favor? That carries. Are you? Okay, Mr. Howe dissents. Okay, your application is approved, sir. Item number 4 is 70 Frank Rivers Drive. We have before us a public hearing notice, location map, plan of survey and plans, presentation materials from the agent. We have photos of the site, 2 form letters in support from number 66 and 65 Frank Rivers Drive, and opposition from number 72, which is adjacent. And this is to alter the 2-story dwelling by constructing a 1-story addition in the north rear yard. I don't show any speakers on this one. Is there anybody in the audience for 70 Frank Rivers Drive? No? Okay. Do we have the agent online?
Morning, Madam Chair. Good morning, members of the committee. My name is Hugo Lowe. I'm the agent for the owner. My address is 156 Star Master Road, Markham.
Okay, sir. Good morning. I don't think we need a presentation. Panel members, do you have any questions for Mr. Lowe? Sir, we don't have any questions for you. Is there anything you would like to add that's not in the materials before us, before we go into committee?
No, I don't have anything to add.
Okay, sir. Thank you. We're in committee, panel members. Mr. Khan.
Thank you, madam. I would like to move the 2 variances, minor in nature. So I would like to move this application be approved.
Okay, do I have a seconder? Mr. Howe?
Thank you, Chair. I'll second the motion.
Okay, we have a motion to approve the application. As we feel it meets the 4 tests, there's no conditions. Moved by Mr. Khan, seconded by Mr. Howe. All in favor? That carries unanimously. Item number 5. 70 Longsword Drive. We have before us a public hearing notice, location map, plan of survey and plans, site photos. We have a community planning report asking for conditions. We have a 3-signature petition in support. And we have opposition from number 16 Redhead Crescent as well as number 18 Redhead Crescent. And I am showing a couple of speakers. Is there anybody in the audience for 70 Longsword Drive? Seeing none. And they are asked, this application is to alter the existing 2-story by constructing a 1-story rear addition with a rear deck. Okay, do we have the agent on the line and the speakers?
Through the chair, Rakim is unmuted. We do not currently have either of the opposition on.
Oh, neither one? Okay, we'll see what happens when we, okay. Mr. Kim?
My name is Rakim. I'm the my address is 386 Young Street, Unit 1402. The behalf of the owner.
All right, sir, we did have some opposition speakers. We don't have them online yet. So let me see if the panel members have any questions for you. Mr. Stinson.
Thank you, Chair. Sir, there's conditions with this application from community planning, quite extensive. Are you good with following those conditions?
Yes.
Thank you.
Anybody else, any questions for Mr. Kim? You got somebody now? All right, Mr. Kim,
Yeah.
can you do a very brief presentation before we have opposition now on the line? So,
Sure.
and then I'll go to them and come back to you, and then you can address those concerns.
Okay, yeah. About the variance, I'm gonna explain about that. It seems very a lot, but maximum length, and then that depth, and the coverage is 36%. It's minor thing, but the length is from there is a front garage, 1-story garage, is about 6 meters. It's a lot. So without that part, we have only 16 meter to the all the way back, and then the depth is the front yard setback is 3 meter only because of the exemption zoning. So from there to the all the way back is 25.6 meters. So it seems a lot, but the actual building size is not that big. And then I'm gonna answer after the opposition's questions.
Okay, sounds good. Thanks.
Thanks.
Okay, do you have them?
Through the chair, Lesma, you've been unmuted.
Is it Lesma Bartley that you've got? Do you have the other one too, or just the one? Okay. Lesma Bartley, are you there? Can you hear me?
Hello,
Hi, can you give us your name and address for the record, please?
I'm Lesma Bartley, and I'm at 68 Longsword. I'm right beside the number 70.
Okay, you have 5 minutes. Go ahead.
Okay, so I'm a bit concerned. I don't know if I'm objecting yet. I just wanted to hear all the full details of it because this construction is really reducing. I moved into my this house in 2002, and when I moved in, the previous owner started a boarding home house without, notifying the city. It was done afterwards. Had a lot of issues with reports to the city and police regarding that, and I don't want to go through that again. I want to have the enjoyment of my home. And now this extension is the owner did say to me when she first moved in that she's constructing. She asked for a permit to construct a 1-story addition at the back for a dance studio for her daughter. Okay, and I was okay with that, but then when I noticed that we didn't get any notification from the city, that's why I didn't call the city, but I guess another neighbor did. I don't know. Anyway, the problem is this extension. There's problem with drainage at the back of that house already. There's water that's pooled at the side of my house because the house is constructed so close to the fence, to our fence from the beginning. And so pooling does occur. So I don't know about the draining problem there and the draining issues. That's going to be rectified with another construction there. Decreased privacy due to the extension there, blocking the natural sunlight. If I'm on my deck, they're just right in my face. And that's, I won't be able to enjoy my backyard. And so I want to know it's not aligned with the other buildings that's there or other homes. And that's really my concern because they've extended the driveway quite extensively since they moved in. They must have made a 4 or 5 car driveway, right? Reducing the front of the property to a very small snitch of grass. And now the back is going to be now kind of the same thing because the house is pretty well all the way back and just a small amount of grass because they've already constructed some place where they're going to do other plantations and stuff like that. And this is not, that's where my objection is.
Okay, so you are objecting because I do show you as supporting this. You signed the petition, so do I remove?
I
it?
have never signed any petition. I'm
Well,
sorry.
Your
I don't know.
you said 68, right? Longsword?
Yes.
Yeah, you're on here as having signed it, but
I have never,
I'll just,
that's
it's
not me.
fine.
I'm sorry. Not
I'll
me.
just,
Never
well,
signed.
I don't know who signed it, but anyway, I'm removing you as a supporter.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, let me see if my colleagues have any questions. Mr. Stinson.
Thank you for your comments and points. It was interesting and very well said. In your backyard, do you have any structures yourself or any deck when you talk about it's going to impinge on your usage of your backyard?
Yeah, I have a back deck, which is a lot, and then they like a gazebo at the back of my house.
Okay, and
But it's not enclosed.
thank you for that. And the
Yeah.
other observation I'd make only from some of the looking at Google Earth is that these are quite deep backyards. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah.
Okay, thank you for your time.
Okay.
Mr. Howe.
Ma'am, are there fences in between the properties? And
Yes,
can you
there are.
describe them? Are they wooden fence?
At the back, at the front, there is a metal fence. At the back is wooden fence.
Wooden fence. And they're not very see-through, are they?
You know, just a normal fence where there's daylight. You can see through it, but it's at the right height, I guess, that is supposed to be based on the city planning.
Okay.
But yeah.
Thank you. No, that's my question. Thank you.
Okay.
Any other questions? All right, Mr. Kim.
Yeah, can you pull up the site plan? Yeah, as you can see, the site plan, the neighbors is right side is 68, and then the addition part is about 3 meter bigger than the neighbor's house, and then we have only 1 story addition. It's not that high, so hopefully it's not really blocking the view after it built up. And then the drainage, of course, we're gonna take care of that. This is kind of mess right now, so after build it'll be done. Yeah, proper drainage. And then the house is the 1 story addition part at the back. If you look at the elevation, this is very low slope, so I don't think it's not that interference of their view of the skies or the shadow to their side of the land. Hopefully it helps the explanation.
Okay, anybody have any questions? Mr. Khan, did you have a question? No? Okay. So we don't have any further questions. We'll take it into committee then for a decision. Ms. McCauley.
Thank you. I've taken a look at this and yes, we have an addition, but it's a very long lot. And as the applicant has shown or has stated, it doesn't really exceed very far from the lot adjacent, from the house on the adjacent lot. So I think it's inappropriate. The variants before us are predominantly length and depth and a little bit on coverage. I note that the rear yard is still 12.99 meters. So it's a substantial lot and a substantial rear yard. Creative planning has recommended that it be built in accordance with the site plan. And yeah, that's the only comments we have. Therefore, I recommend approval of this application subject to the recommendation of community planning that it be built in accordance with the site plan submitted.
Thank you. That's a motion. Do I have a seconder for that motion?
Thank you, Chair. I'll second the motion.
Okay, so the motion is by Ms. McCauley, including the community planning condition. And it's seconded by Mr. Howe to approve the application. All in favor? That carries unanimously. Thank you. Item number 6, 155 BRYCEMOOR. We have one variance before us. This is to legalize and maintain the front yard one-story addition and rear yard deck extension. We have before us a public hearing notice, location map, plan of survey and plans, as well as site photos and no conditions. Do we have the agent on the line?
I'm not here.
Oh, you're. Oh, okay. So that's fine. Which one of you is speaking? So you have, yeah, you have to come down here. So your name and address for the record.
Yes, my name is Doug Ramsey. My address is 711. It's Abingdon Court in Pickering, Ontario.
Sorry, I'm just changing it here. I had Vincent Strati down, so.
Oh, I'm sorry. I rearranged my schedule so I could be here for him
Yeah,
today. Okay.
Okay, did you guys get his stuff? Did you get his address in record, or you want him to repeat?
I can spell it. I know it's a weird name spelling.
Just repeat it. I got your name, Doug Ramsey.
Yes.
But your address?
Yes, it's 711 and it's Abingdon Court. It's Abingdon. And that's in Pickering.
Where is it, Pickering?
In Pickering, yes.
What's the number again?
711.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't think we need a presentation. Panel members, anybody have any questions? Ms. McCauley?
Yeah, I have, I guess I'm confused as to what we have as our variance. Legalize and maintain front yard one-story addition, which I don't see, and a rear yard deck. I don't have a problem with the rear yard deck.
Yeah,
I see that the rear yard at the one corner is 2.57 meters versus 7.5 meters. So it's a very small. But I'm sure that that is any change.
No, exactly. So some pretense to this. So we had a permit prior to this because it was supposed to be a renovation, and we're maintaining. It's an old 1950s house, and we're building on top of the existing foundation, right? And we were doing a renovation at the rear. But what happened was when we were doing the demolition with regards to the actual permit that we had prior, we found the walls in complete disrepair. We were going to chop the walls and maintain windows and 50% of the wall areas. But once we started to tear down the walls, it's the 1950s house, so brick block construction. It had a 1-inch lath on the inside, which had no insulation. So sometime, I guess, after Mr. Strati had purchased the property, somebody had gone and actually put this polystyrene insulation on the outside of the house with new metal cladding, I guess to help bring up the insulation value. However, in doing that, they poked thousands of holes through the existing block foundation walls. They didn't seal underneath as well, so just moisture and everything was coming in. When we demoed the walls, there was moss, there was vines coming in. We couldn't maintain it for health and safety, and there was a lot of the mortar had been chipped and broken away from when they actually tried to do the connections. So what we decided to do is just let's start fresh. We're still building on top of the existing foundation, which is why that one variance we can't comply with it, right? And the existing renovation out the back and everything that's been pre-approved, and actually the foundation's already in place with the old permit. So once we got rid of the existing walls, we now eliminated or forfeited the 50% renovation, which now triggered a new construction. So we went through the new construction process with the permits and the applications and the zoning review. Just there's no matter what, we can't comply with that one variance because we're still building on existing foundation with that rear corner, and we're building the new walls to be above an R36 wall right now, maintaining, because I know you guys want to get rid of natural gas and go to electricity. So we're trying to think of the future. So we decided let's just remove the existing walls. We'll build something far superior, and we're still maintaining a single family home, single story home on the existing foundation that's there. Does that sort of make sense?
Yes. Thank you very much for that explanation. I was trying to figure this out.
Mr. Khan.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Sir, my question is,
yes,
you are legalizing and maintaining the front one-story addition
Yes.
and rear deck extension to one-story detached.
That's correct. Yes.
Sir, could you kindly tell me when was this built?
So sorry, when was this built?
Yeah.
The original house?
No, one story and the deck when they were built.
So right now, a stop work order was put in place because what happened was once we removed the existing walls, right? One of the neighbors complained and triggered it, saying that we've now demolished more than 50% of the walls, which then nullified the initial renovation permit that we had. In that time, before we removed the walls, with regards to the initial permit that we had for the renovation, they actually excavated and put the foundation in for the rear addition that we were pre-approved for the previous. So that new one-story addition on the back only has a foundation in the ground right now. We had to stop all work order because of the existing wall removal.
So it is only up to the foundation.
Yeah, just the foundation is on site right now. Yeah. We're just waiting for the approval. And that's why we had to go through the new process of having a new construction permit. Because now that we got rid of that 50% of the existing exterior walls, which we've now gone through, and we did the full zoning review and everything else. So that one variance on the corner, that's really the only variance we're going for. That's legal non-conforming because we're building on top of the existing foundation, unaltered at that corner.
So
Everything else met within the zoning standards of today's.
Simplify, you're staying on the same footprint of the house.
It's exactly it. Yes.
It's the exact same footprint.
Yeah.
There's no-
And the rear addition, we were approved from the previous permit that we obtained in 2025 for the renovation, and that met the zoning of today. We were able to maintain within the zoning standards.
Sir, respectfully, as I understand, not to offend you.
No, of course.
Thank you. Sir, you are asking for legalization and maintaining one story.
Yes.
It is unfinished.
No, but the permits, like the drawings that we submitted initially for the renovation to what we're proposing right now are not changing at all. Right? Because we initially got our initial permit for a renovation permit because we were maintaining 50% of the wall area. But now that we had to remove the existing exterior walls, except for the garage walls, they're fine because there's no air penetration, there's no moisture in the garage. They were maintained. The remainder of the habitable exterior walls were too far damaged. There's mold, there was vines that were coming into the walls, inferior insulation. So we made the disclosure that we're going to remove those walls, but ultimately we're still building the same house that we got approved for from the renovation permit, just with a new exterior modern wall.
Mr. Stinson might be able
Thank
to
you.
help out here.
Of course.
Go ahead.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Mr. Khan. Thank you, sir, for your very detailed answer. I guess it's fair to say in the contracting business, you don't know what you don't know until you get the wall tore back.
Pretty much, yes.
And that's what we're talking about here, if I understand you correctly.
Yeah.
And because of that, and this speaks to Mr. Khan's question, and it's very poignant. This is why you had to, I guess, flex or adjust on the fly from what was a renovation to now a more fulsome piece of work.
Exactly. That was never our scope of work to do this. We were trying to do work within it, but once we took down the drywall, primarily though, once we took down the exterior, from a health and safety point of view and even from structural.
And just to be clear, the house is from the 1950s, and the walls that you found holes in after they tried to use different insulation techniques, let's say, it was cinder block, I imagine?
No, it was a brick block construction. So they had like a 4-inch block on the inside, and then they had like an angel stone kind of exterior, kind of more of a decorative stone at the back.
But just to be clear, it was perforated enough that you had to review how you were going to do it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Especially by the time we started to cut holes and stuff, it would have all, Sort of clarify? Yeah.
As much as I like learning about construction, we're getting a little off track from the variance here. So
Sure.
Any other questions? All right. Is there anything else you want to add? I think we have the picture, but is there anything else you want to add before we go into?
We're just building on what was there initially, and we're not in that one variance, we're not encroaching anymore.
It's the exact same.
It's the exact same footprint and exact same drawings that we're building off of from the initial renovation permit that we have.
Okay, thank you. All right. We're in committee. I think Mr. Stinson was first. I don't know. Or, okay, he's letting you go, Ms. McCauley.
Okay, thank you. Now that we understand what you're doing, essentially the only variance before us is the rear yard.
Yes.
At 2.5 meters. So, and that's an existing condition that you are maintaining with new build.
Exactly. And it's only because it's a bad angle on that property too. That's what we're working with. So unfortunately.
So, looking at the variances in front of us, they make sense. They're minor. They're appropriate for the development, and I recommend approval. There are no conditions.
Okay, do I have a seconder?
Thank you, Chair. I'll second the motion.
Okay, have a motion to approve the application as it's felt that it meets the 4 tests, moved by Ms. McCauley, seconded by Mr. Stinson. All in favor? That carries unanimously.
Thank you, Chair.
Okay, item number 5, or I'm sorry, item number 7 was deferred. So we're going to item number 8, 571 Danforth Road. Is there anybody in the audience for this application? No? All right, we have before us a public hearing notice, location map, plan of survey, previous decisions affecting the property, presentation materials from the agent, site photos. We have a transportation report. Let me flip my notes here. They're asking, they're okay with it. It's advisory comments. And we have 5 form letters in support from residents on North Bonninghton Avenue. And the application is to alter the existing driveway by widening it in the east yard. And there's no change to the dwelling. And I don't believe there's any speakers. Do we have the agent on the line?
Good morning, Madam Chair and the committee.
Hi, you're back with us. Sorry, but I need you to state your full name and address for the record.
My name is Nusrat Jahan, address 3400 Danforth Avenue, suite number 5.
Okay, well, I don't think we need a presentation. Any any questions? Mr. Howe?
Thank you, Chair. Through you, the agent, I note the transportation review had a comment in their report saying, I quote, "The applicant is not to widen the portion of driveway within the public right-of-way to more than 5.87 meters." So in essence, they're saying you can widen, they have no objections to you widening your driveway, the part that you own, to 8.67, but you shall not do anything to the city's right-of-way. Do you have any issue with complying with that requirement?
I believe we have to go through transportation permit for that. Yeah, we have no issue at this point.
Okay, thank you. That's my question.
Thank you.
Ms. McCauley?
Following on that, have you given any consideration as to how you would get access to that driveway, given that you can't use the public boulevard?
Madam, we have to ask for transportation's permit because we are going to use the right of way. That's a separate permit we have to go through. Yes.
I'm sorry, I don't understand what right away.
There is an application we can ask for transportation's permit to use the right of way. It's a separate application. At this point, we haven't applied for that. Once we get the committee approval, we'll apply for transportation's approval. The zoning examiner also reflected on that, so we have to go through that permit.
Okay. Anybody else, any questions? Okay, Ms. Jahan, we're ready to go into committee. Anything you want to add before we make a decision? Hello?
Yeah, so from my side, there's no comment, Madam Chair.
Thank you. All right.
Thank you.
Mr. Khan, we're in committee.
Madam, we have 2 variances in front of us. They are Minor Transport Services has okayed in their letter of February 4, 2026. And I see these are minor, so I would like to move this application be approved.
Okay, do I have a seconder or any comments anybody wants to make? Mr. Howe?
Thank you, Chair. I'll second the motion.
Okay. So I have a motion to approve the application moved by Mr. Khan, seconded by Mr. Howe. All in favor? Are you dissenting?
Opposed.
Opposed, so, and Ms. McCauley dissents. So the application is approved. Okay. The next item, item number 9, 2495 Eglinton Avenue. We have before us a public hearing notice, location map, plan of survey and plans, a cover letter from OAA. We have site photos, presentation materials from the agent, and we have a report with conditions of approval from Metrolinx. And the application, we have 3 variances, and it seeks to alter the existing mixed-use building by constructing interior alterations to convert the ground floor retail space into 4 residential units. Is there anybody in the audience for 2495 Eglinton Avenue East? Seeing none. I don't have any opposition speakers, but do I have the applicant on the line?
Can you hear me?
I can. I just need your name and address for the record.
All right, great. My name is Melissa Gerskup, and my work address is 10 Carlson Court in Etobicoke.
All right, panel members, I don't believe we need a presentation. Anybody have any questions on this application? Okay, I'm not seeing any questions. We don't need a presentation. Is there anything you would like to add, Ms. Gerskup, before we go into committee to make a decision that's not in the materials? We have your presentation materials, etc.
Yeah, I'll just keep it brief. It should all be laid out in the presentation, but we're just planning on converting a underused space into more affordable housing, which we believe aligns with the city's mandate to build more affordable housing. And this site happens to be along a transit line that is currently under construction. So we believe it's a good fit for the city.
Okay, thank you very much. All right, panel members, we're in committee. Mr. Howe.
Thank you, Chair. Through you, this application looks minor and meets the 4 tests of the Planning Act. It seeks to convert 4 additional dwelling units out of a total of 62 units. So it appears minor, in my opinion, and I move approval subject to Metrolinx condition.
Who wants to take? You put your hands up at the same time. Okay, Ms. McCauley.
Okay, I'll second that.
All right. So I have a motion to approve moved by Mr. Howe, seconded by Ms. McCauley, including Metrolinx conditions to approve it. All in favor? That carries unanimously. Your application's approved. Item number 10 was deferred. So we'll go to item number 11, 1650 Military Trail. We have before us a public hearing notice, location map, plan of survey and plans. We have a red line diagram, an arborist report from Kuntz Forestry Consulting, a cover letter from All Tree Developments, a parking brief from BA Group, planning rationale prepared by Bousfield's, presentation materials from the agent. We have a community planning report that's an information report, and transportation only has advisory comments on this one. And I am not showing any opposition or other speakers. Is there anybody in the audience for 1650 Military Trail? No? Do we have the agent on the line?
Through you, Madam Chair. My name is Ryan Sankar, 95 St. Clair Avenue West.
I'm the transportation consultant retained by the applicant. I'm just here to answer any technical questions the committee might have. My colleague Simran Bhatti is also a registered speaker on the line, and he has a presentation that he can go through. Committee would like. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Panel members, do we need a presentation? No? We don't need a presentation, sir. I'm not sure. Anybody have any questions? Mr. Khan has a question for you.
Thank you, Madam Chair. My question is simple. How many units you have? Number of residential units?
I'll defer to my colleague Simran if he's on the line. He's the planner on the file, and he can better answer your question on that.
Hi, I just need your name and address for the record, please.
Sure. My name is Simran Bhatti. I'm an urban planner with Bellsfields Inc. Our address is 3 Church Street, Suite 200, M5E 1M2. To answer your question through the chair, there are 101 purpose-built rental units in this development.
Mr. Khan?
How many?
101.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Any other questions, panel members? Ms. McCauley?
I don't have any more questions, but I'd like to make a comment.
Can you wait till we're in
Yep.
committee? Okay, we don't have any more questions. Is there anything that you feel you need to add that's not in the materials before us, before we go into committee?
Thank you, Chair. If there's no need for a presentation, I'll just note really quickly that the variances before you today really just represent a minor refinement to the council-approved site-specific bylaw here to respond to some design considerations that evolved through the site plan approval process in consultation with planning staff, and also respond to City Council's enactment of Bylaw 223/2025, which, as I think this committee knows, updates the citywide accessible parking space requirements. And so all we're seeking to do here is align our supply with what City Council and City Transportation staff now consider to be an appropriate supply of accessible parking space. We have staff support on the variances, and maybe I'll just take this opportunity to thank them for their work on this file. And thank you to you, Chair, and members for your consideration today.
Okay, thank you very much. What do you need? Oh, you have a question now. Okay, we're out of committee. Mr. Khan has a question.
Thank you, Madam Chair, through you. I was just told that residential units are 101, but I was reading in the parking that residentials are 112. So how come there is a difference? Is it 112 or 101?
Through the chair, it is 101. That is what's reflected on the architectural plans. I'm not sure why that report would say 112, but it is 101.
Because, sir, you can correct me and help me in getting the right figure. Because in parking breakdown, I was reading, accessible was reduced to 3, and residential 112, and visitor 7. So please tell me, what should I understand?
Through the chair, that may just be a typo, sir. I think in the architectural plans, but the number of units in this project is 101.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, just to add to that, if you look at the transportation memo in the first paragraph in the application description, it does say in the proposed 8-story residential building containing a total of 101 dwelling units. So just if that makes you more comfortable, Mr. Khan. Okay, so we're now in committee, Ms. McCauley.
Okay, I wanted to comment on this application. I note that it's a waiver, so I'm hoping that they caught everything that they needed. However, we have the application before us, and there was 2 things that struck me. One was it's 101 units, but they're predominantly 3 and 4 bedroom units, which is unusual for an apartment building. The second thing that struck me is there's 18 parking spaces And it has been reduced from 9 residential, 6 visitors, and 3 accessories. Looking at this, I wasn't sure why we have an unusual number of units, an unusual number of 3 and 4 and 5 bedroom units, and a reduced parking. However, reading the entire report, found out that this is for student housing. The University of Toronto Scarborough campus is probably about 3 blocks away. So this makes a lot of sense to me, is appropriate, and I think represents good planning. I'd be prepared, if there's no other comments, to move approval.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I move approval. There are no conditions. Move approval as I've said, of the 3 variances.
All right. Go ahead, Mr.
Thank you, Chair. I'll second the motion.
Okay, we have a motion before us to approve the application. As Ms. McCauley, you feel it meets the 4 tests. And that's moved by Ms. McCauley, seconded by Mr. Stinson. All in favor? That carries unanimously. Okay, thank you. Item number 11, we just did, so we're going to 12. So 46 North Bonninghton Avenue. We have before us a public hearing notice, location map, plan of survey and plans, previous decisions affecting the property, site photos, a TPPR permit, advisory information from construction review at Metrolinx, 6 form letters in support, including number 48, which is adjacent. And we have opposition from number 56 and 64 North Bonninghton. Is there anybody in the audience for North Bonninghton? Seeing none. And I don't show any other opposition listed here. Do we have the owner on the line?
Chair.
Hi, what's your name, please, sir?
Hi, it's Bharat Kumar Tuyamani. I go by Kumar, and the address is 30 Pin Lane.
Okay, sir, I don't think we need a presentation, panel members. We have 2 variances before us. Does anyone have any questions? I'm going to call you Kumar because your name, I'll probably totally mispronounce it.
Yes, please.
Yeah, okay. Any? Okay, Mr. Khan has a correction of some kind.
Sir, I'm looking at variance number 2, where you are saying the altered dwelling will have a length. It should be depth of 2147, not length.
Yes, the depth. I see that here, sir. So it's the depth. You are correct. 2147 is the depth, and the length is 1876.
Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Stinson has a question, sir.
Thank you, Chair. Sir, we don't see this every day at this committee, but there's a TPPR permit in regards to trees and migratory birds. You're aware of that, and are you willing to comply with it?
Yes, sir. So there we had removed an existing tree, and we had submitted the permit for the same in the past before we raised the committee of adjustment. This was done earlier. So there is no tree obstructing the current construction.
Thank you for that. And I guess you submitted this application.
That is correct, sir.
Thank you.
Any other questions, panel members? Seeing none, sir, do you have anything to add? We're ready to go into committee.
Madam Chair, I'd just like to add that we spoke to our immediate neighbors, both immediate neighbors next to our property, and they have encouraged the proposed addition. We also have submitted the signed support letter of consent. Just wanted to add that.
Okay, we're in committee, panel members. Oh, hold on, Mr. Deputy Secretary.
Through the chair, before you make a decision, we've put on the screen the amendment. So should the committee approve the application, it should be approved as amended.
Oh, there's. Okay, sir, so the depth is, oh, just the correction instead of length, it's depth?
Correct, and this is technical in
Yeah,
nature.
sir, can you see that? It's just, there was a mistake on the second variance. It should have read depth, not length. Are you there, Kumar?
Yes, I am. Can you hear me?
Yeah, so no, now I can. I didn't, if you said anything before, I didn't hear it. So you can see the technical, it's a technical amendment. It was just a mistake.
Yes. Yes, I comply with that, madam.
Yeah, okay, great. All right, we're in committee then. Mr. Khan.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Two variances in front of us, and number 2 has been rectified. So I would like to make this application be approved. It complies with the 4 tests.
Okay, do I have a seconder? Ms. McCauley?
I'll second that motion.
All right, motion to approve the application as it meets the 4 tests, moved by Mr. Khan, seconded by Ms. McCauley. All in favor? That carries unanimously. Thank you, sir. Item number 13. 801 Danforth. We have before us public hearing notice, location map, plan of survey and plans, site photos. We don't have any conditions. We have 2 variances before us. This is for interior and exterior alterations to a 1-story repair garage. And I only show the applicant. Is there anybody here for 801 Danforth? Yes? Are you in support? You're in opposition? Okay. You want to come down? Are you both speaking or are you the same address? Okay, so you're speaking for both of you? So just grab a seat for a minute. Okay, do you have the agent on the line? So just grab a seat for a second. Oh, yeah.
Through the chair, to hear you're unmuted.
Mr. Tahir, are you there?
Yes, I am here.
Sir, I have a couple of people here who are objecting to your application. Can you do a very brief presentation?
Okay,
Just let us know why you need these variances. And before you start, I need your name and address for the record.
Yeah, my name is Tahir Saeed and my address is 50 Janak Street, Scarborough, Ontario.
Okay. Go ahead, sir.
Madam, this is a repair garage and it has a frontage of about 50 feet. And half of the ceiling and the roof on the top is about 15 feet and other half is about 11 feet. So we repair vehicles there. In order for us to lift the car up on the lift, we need like a little bit more height. So what I am exactly trying to do is only go 4 feet up and just make one smooth, level on the top, which is going to be 50. Nothing changed whatsoever, only raising like 1 and 2 walls up 4 feet and put the new ceiling on the top. That's exactly what we are trying to do.
All right, sir. I'm going to ask the opposition to speak and then I'll have you back and you can address anything that's raised. Okay, so I need your name and address and then maybe also tell me the other address you're speaking for.
Yes, for sure. So my name is Guojian Yang and I live on 50 Granger Avenue. And the man standing beside me, his name is Muthi and he lives on 805 Danforth Road.
Okay. Go ahead. You have 5 minutes.
Yes, thank you. So I do not support the requested variances. So the current use of the property has already created ongoing impacts on our home and quality of life. Throughout the year, strong paint and chemical odors frequently drift onto our property, along with persistent burning and coal-like fumes that affect the air quality and our ability to comfortably use our home. So we have also regularly experienced loud noises from this property from activities on the site. This includes sudden banging and objects being thrown that at times strike our garage, creating significant noise disturbances and raising concerns about the safety and potential property damage. So these disruptions interfere with the quiet enjoyment of our home and occur on an ongoing basis without mitigation. In addition, vehicles associated with the property are also often parked for extended periods near a fire hydrant in front of my house, restricting access and making it difficult to safely enter and leave our driveway. There has been a prior incident where items were stored beyond the property boundary onto our property approximately 2 years ago, which required correction. So this history adds to our concerns about compatibility and the impacts of the neighboring homes. So given these existing issues, we are concerned that the reduced setbacks or further intensification of the site may worsen the effects of our property. And we respectfully ask the committee to consider these concerns when making its decision.
Okay, thank you. Panel members, do you have any questions for the speaker? Mr. Stinson?
Thank you for your presentation. Very well done. You said representing for Grange Avenue?
Yes, and I also have Muthi here. I have his letter as well that I can read out if that's needed.
And just the numbers on Grange Avenue that are affected that you're articulating?
Yes, so this property is behind us.
Yeah, what are the numbers on Grange?
50.
Okay, thank you.
Apologies.
Any, Mr. Deputy Secretary Treasurer?
Through the chair, for the record, are you registered as Priscilla Lamb?
Yes, I am.
Thank you.
Okay, anybody have any other questions, panel members? All right, we don't have any other questions, so I'm gonna go to the procedure is we go, unless there's something else you have to add, that's like.
Yes, I do.
I don't know, the
Yeah.
clock's been changed, so I'm not
Oh.
sure how much time was left, but.
I have one more minute if that's okay. I just want to read his letter as well because he did prepare something. This is regarding Muthi. So he resides on 805 Danforth Road.
Yeah, I have that.
Yep. So the owners of the above aforementioned property wish to make alterations to the existing buildings. So these changes do not conform to the existing zoning bylaws. However, we are concerned neighbors whose properties directly adjoin 801 to 803 Danforth Road have concerns about the existing state of their property and business operations and how they affect the neighborhood in a negative way. Firstly, there's improper storage of automotive parts, such racking that was improperly affixed to the neighboring fences. Such storage has also attracted urban wildlife such as mice and raccoons who have become a nuisance. There's also excessive paint fumes from the property. There's also improper parking of vehicles on Granger Avenue, impeding traffic and access to other businesses. And there's also improper plowing of snow onto municipal city sidewalks.
Okay, I just want you to understand that you've mentioned a lot of issues and I understand they're a big frustration for you and your neighbor here, but the committee only deals with the variances that are before it. So all those things are related to different apartments. So you'd have to call 311 if there's things that you feel are in violation of noise bylaws, parking bylaws, et cetera. Like we can't deal with that here.
Yep, no worries. I just wanted to add it in just because
Yeah.
their project, essentially, if they expand, I'm afraid these issues that I just mentioned to you are going to be exacerbated to the point where I would say my room, because my house is right, I guess, in front of theirs,
Yeah.
where I can't get any sleep because of the noise. And I'm just afraid as, somebody that lives.
Yeah,
on that
well,
property.
if you have a noise concern, I would encourage you to contact, I believe the province deals with, but you can go through our bylaw first and then they'll refer it where it has to go. Okay.
Yep, okay, thank you.
All right, any other questions? Okay, can we have the agent back, please?
Hello?
Hi, can you please speak to the issues raised?
Okay, madam, first, she's on 50 Granger. Granger Street is after 805. We do not park any vehicles there. That's too far away from my property. Number one, number two, I have approximately 18 to 20 parking spaces on my lot. So we don't go anywhere else on the street, park anywhere. Number 3, the wood burning issue she's describing, 805. The gentleman who is giving you the objection here, that has a wood burning some kind of thing there. They have like some kind of a shed made and they are wood burning. We are a fully insured, licensed from the City of Toronto property. We have gas heating inside. We have paint booth spray license. We have mechanical license, and all of our wastage is going through Safety Clean and other companies like that. So we are in abide by all the city laws, rules, and regulations. The only thing I am trying to do is raise the roof to the same level which is on the other side. Nothing else. Like there is no complaint files ever. No 311 ever came to us. There is no objection on this kind exist on our property. That's the only thing I have to say. And we do not make any noises inside because our garage is all closed and we are facing Danforth Road, not back to the Granger. If there is any noise issue, it should go to the Danforth Road, but there is no noise issue at all because it's all closed garage. That's the only thing I have. I have nothing else to say.
Just a quick question, just looking at it, are you evening the roof with the part if you're facing the garage doors on the left-hand side? It's higher. Are you just making it kind of even with the other side?
Exactly even with the other side.
Yeah, you're making it the same height as the left-hand side, the right-hand side, right?
That's
Okay.
correct.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else, any questions? Mr. Howe has a question.
Thank you, Chair. Through you. Sir, for the setback variance that you're requesting, is that an existing condition or is that because of the alteration?
No, it's the existing condition. We are not changing anything whatsoever. Just going, it's a concrete block wall. So we're just going to raise the wall up 3.5 to 4 feet. That's it. Nothing changing.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
I have this same owner employee, they have a parking enforcement by height, and we call the Toronto parking enforcement.
Sir?
They give him a ticket.
Sir, I really appreciate what you're saying,
Yeah.
but first of all, the procedure is, that's why I asked your neighbor if there was anything else. So once you've spoken, and she was spoken on behalf of both, but sir, you just should also know that you cannot submit, if you ever go to a hearing again, you cannot submit materials or pictures at the hearing. You have to email them in first, okay? Just so you know. Ms. McCauley.
Thank you. This is to the applicant. I'm looking at the site plan that shows existing, and it shows on Danforth, it shows the garage and 2, 4, 6, 7 parking spaces. But in the bottom of this plan, there is your building, a lot of cars around it, and then to the east, I guess, northeast, there are a number of other cars. Can you explain to me who belongs to those cars?
They are all belong to the garage, and it has the license over there to sell the vehicles, and those are all vehicles for sale.
So there's 2
It's registered
properties
with
here?
Ombuds. I'm sorry?
Okay, I'm a little confused. There's 2 properties here, both garages, one that you're doing renovations to, and a second garage with a lot of cars parked around it?
No, it's actually one property. It used to be 801, 803 Danforth Road. On 803 Danforth Road, there was a house, about 1,000 square foot house, which I demolished back in 2019 with the permit, and I made that a parking space. So all of that area is one company, and it's 801 to 803 Danforth Road, owned by me.
Okay. All right. So we're dealing with the one property that you want to repair the ceiling, and you own an adjacent property, which is shown on the site plan, with some buildings and a lot of parking around it. Is that correct?
Actually, it's one building completely, but it has, like, in the old style when they made it, it has like two heights. One is a little lower and the other one is a higher, but it's like one building.
Okay, what is the white structure I see in this picture? Looks like a Quonset hut. The white
The
structure.
white one,
Yeah.
white structure which has a sign on it in red is 11 feet. But they are all one building.
No, no.
From the yellow sign.
Okay. You're not answering my question. My question is looking at the photo that you have submitted. I see your building and I see a lot of cars parked around an adjacent building. And the building has a white roof. It looks to me like some sort of Quonset hut. I was asking, is that part of your property as well?
Yes, it is.
Okay, but it's not part of your application here for the variance.
Sorry, can you repeat?
It's all right. I think I'm just commenting that the adjacent property with a lot of parking on it and is shown on the site plan really is not before us. The only application is the one site plan, the existing building. So to speak to the residents' concerns about parking, yes, there is parking problems in the area, but that issue really is not before us today. That's all. Thank you.
Okay, anybody else? Any questions? All right, let's take it into committee for a decision. Mr. Stinson.
Thank you, Chair. This is sort of a classic example of an equally entitled interest between the residential and commercial sectors of our city. This is a transition location where the two meet. And because of that, unfortunately, you're going to have issues of sound and parking, et cetera. But to the astute direction of the chair earlier, that's not in our purview. So what we address is what the minor variances are. And in my view, this meets the 4-test rule and is technically in the neighborhood of the commercial district. So it meets the character and reasonableness of that 4-test rule for me, and I would be in favor of the application.
Anyone else have any comments? Okay, you want to move a motion?
I would like to move that we approve the application. There are no conditions or advisory comments from any of the city departments.
Okay, I have a motion. Okay, I have a motion.
I will second the motion.
A motion to approve the application with no conditions, moved by Mr. Stinson, seconded by Mr. Khan. All in favor? That carries. Okay, I realize there's only 2 items left, but a couple of my colleagues need 10 minutes, so I'm going to take a 10-minute break. Okay, you good? All right, we're back. The next item is item number 14, 462 Rouge Hill. Rouge Hills Drive. We have before us public hearing notice, location map, plan of survey and plans, presentation materials from the agent, as well as site photos. We have 4 form letters in support. And we have 1 variance before us. And it's to construct a new story ancillary garden suite in the rear west yard. And I don't have any speakers other than the agent or the applicant. Is there anybody in the audience for 462 Rouge Hills Drive? All right, do we have the agent on the line?
Sign right here.
Hi, can you repeat that? I didn't hear you. I need your name and address.
Yes, my name is Victoria Soon. I'm the architect and applicant for this file, located at 53 Greenlaw Avenue, Toronto, M6H3V7.
Okay, hi. Panel members, I don't believe we need a presentation on this one. Anybody have any questions for the agent? No questions. We don't have any questions. Is there anything you want to add that's not in the materials before us before we go into committee?
Yeah, I just want to note that we are requesting for the noted height variance and just want to make sure that it was capturing the variance on the floor area as well. But yeah, it'd actually be 2 variances.
I only show 1 variance. Mr. Deputy Secretary Treasurer, have you received anything that's asking for another variance?
Through the chair, just one moment. Through the chair, we only have a record of 1 variance being requested. Could you please confirm with the applicant?
Yeah.
It's what's shown on the screen right now.
Victoria, the only variance that I'm showing is that the height variance for 6.98 meters. Are you saying there should be another one?
Yeah, and maybe it's a clarification, but my understanding is the maximum permitted gross floor area for a garden suite ADU is 120 square meters, and we are proposing 160.57. So I don't know.
I mean, listen, we're not here to tell you what other variances you may or may not need, but if you need another variance,
yeah,
then you might want to defer this and fix it. I don't know if staff wants to weigh in here, but
through the chair, I agree. Like the applicant submitted the zoning review, identifying 1 variance, and that's what the public notice reflects, what the applicant had submitted.
Yes, so if the zoning review that was conducted by that examiner was not correct, then once we apply for building permit, if that is stated as we need a variance for it, I guess what would happen at that point?
well, then you have to come back. You have to, I guess, reapply for a variance. Like, I don't know. I don't know what else to tell you. If at building stage you get told that you need a variance for it, then you have to come back and you'd probably have to stop working on it.
Perhaps the applicant should request a deferral to
Yeah, I
make
already
clarification
mentioned
with
that, yeah.
the building department.
So I'm not
Well-
sure what you want to do here. I mean, it's up to you. You either ask for a deferral because you're uncertain that you need it, or you take your chances. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah. It wasn't stated in the review letter. We just feel like it was missed. And if it was missed on their side, we don't want to be caught.
Look, I don't know who missed what, but if your application shows the square meters And then I'm assuming it would have been picked up.
Yeah,
So
no,
I don't
that's
know.
fine.
I don't know who's at fault here, right?
Yeah, it's fine. Okay, no, we can move to continue with the vote. I just wanted to clarify, but
So
maybe
you
it's not.
wanna,
Yeah.
you just want to continue with this one variance. You don't want a deferral, to clarify.
Correct, yeah, because all our submitted materials have not changed, so it was captured in the zoning review.
All right. Okay. Panel members, does anybody have any other questions? Ms. McCauley?
It's not a question so much as a comment, because I note here that this application is a garden suite, but it also includes a ground floor 2-car garage. And so maybe that total floor area that she is addressing includes the garage plus the garden suite.
Maybe. I don't.
In any case, it's up to her as to whether she wants to get clarification and defer it, come back, or whether she wants to proceed.
Well,
She wants to proceed.
wants to proceed, so. Sorry, did you want to make some other comment, Victoria, before I go into committee here?
No, that's all right. Appreciate the clarification and we can proceed.
All right. Okay, we're in committee then.
Thank you, Chair. A straightforward application, except for the new information at the end. No city departments have imposed conditions or asked us to refuse this. Also looking at the property and looking at these diagrams and plans, I think it's appropriate and fits the character of the neighborhood. This is a very large back lot. So I would be comfortable moving to approve this application.
All right. Ms. McCauley, you want a second?
Yeah.
Okay. So I have a motion to approve the application, moved by Mr. Stinson, seconded by Ms. McCauley. As they feel it meets the 4 tests. All in favor? That carries unanimously. Okay, item 15 was deferred. Okay, our final item today is item 16, 65 Treverton Drive. We have before us minutes from the December 3rd meeting, previous agenda package from that meeting, plus the materials submitted at that time, public hearing notice, location map plan of survey and plans. We have red line public hearing notice. And we have site photos. Planning has conditions. Metrolink has conditions and advisory comments. Correspondence in opposition for number 67, which is adjacent, as well as 121 and 65. Okay, I'm showing a number of speakers. I believe they're all in person except for one. And the agent, are you here also or are you online? You're the last people. So you're all the opposition speakers, right? So are all of you speaking? 5 of you, right? 1 is online. And I show the applicant here, but is he online?
Through the chair, the applicant is online.
Okay.
Yes, I'm online. My name is Vase Gulrez from Alpha Trans. My address is 3487 Bala Drive, Mississauga.
Okay, Mr. Golrez, we have a number of speakers, 6 to be exact. Can you do a presentation, please?
Yeah. So we have proposed a 2-story garden suite at the rear yard of the house. And the only minor variance we have asked for is the floor area as per the new bylaws. We have requested for 138.87 square meters instead of 120, and we are just going beyond 18.87 square meters. I just want to add here that I have read the letters from the opposition, and I believe that they should have a faith on the city staff. They are doing a pretty good job, and they are looking forward to that laws and the city regulations, and we are doing it. So the only thing which we are getting a permission is just the floor area. And second point I have is that what I believe that the applicant property, the application for the consent letters sent to the radius of 60 meters. Please correct me if I'm wrong. And the letters I have read is from 121 Treverton and 35 Moorcroft. They are 350 meters and 550 meters away from the property. So if the committee needs any clarification, I'm happy to answer. I have prepared all the answers for all of the questions they have.
All right, I just want to confirm for the members in the audience and people listening that you have removed variance number 2. So we're looking at this application as amended, correct?
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay. All right, sir, I'll have you back after we hear from the opposition. Okay, folks, do you want to grab a seat in the front somewhere? And then I don't know who wants to go first. Okay, and I just want to remind everybody where possible not to repeat the same things over and over. So hopefully you guys have coordinated and excellent. Okay. Okay, so you want Tom Laver, who's online, to go first. Is that it? Okay. Can I have the online person then?
Yes, my name is Thomas Laver. My address is 35 Moorcroft Crescent, Scarborough in Treverton Park. And I'm speaking, of course, about 65 Treverton Drive. I believe the two-story garden suite that is proposed for this address should not be constructed without further investigation and for the following reasons. According to Ms. LeBlanc, the owner of number 67, Treverton, number 65, Treverton had a survey of his property done in March of 2025 by 269-8329 Ontario, Inc. I had questions about the legitimacy of this survey. Consequently, I contacted the Association of Ontario Land Surveyors, the Ontario Surveyors licensing body, about this company. And I received this reply from Spiro Sinis, Deputy Registrar and Survey Department Manager, on December 2nd, 2025. He said this is to confirm that firm 269-8329 Ontario, Inc. is not licensed to offer professional land surveyor services to the public. Any surveyor services related to boundary retracement is exclusive to a licensed Ontario land surveyor. And again, according to Ms. LeBlanc, the owner of 65 Treverton did not submit this 2025 survey completed by the above-mentioned company to the Committee of Adjustment. Instead, he submitted a much older survey done in 1999, which I understand from Ms. LeBlanc does not show all the structures that are presently on the property at 65 Treverton Drive. So my question is this: why did the owner of 65 Treverton pay for a survey completed by the above-mentioned company, Ontario, Inc., an unlicensed company, as was stated above, and then submit the 1999 survey, which, according to Ms. LeBlanc, is not up to date? My second reason, the applicant submitted a drawing of the site plan for 65, submitted as attachment 2 in this part of the public hearing notice of February 1st, 2026. Does not appear to be a survey, at least in this layman's opinion. Was it performed by Alphatrons, the agent named in page 1 in the public hearing notice? This company, according to their website, is an engineering and architectural firm, and no mention is made in their company website about land surveyors. And they're not claiming that they are land surveyors, nor are they listed as members of the Ontario Association of Land Surveyors. And very briefly from Alphatron's website, it's a design consultancy firm founded in 2019 by Dr. Wasi Golrez and registered with Professional Engineers Ontario, and is based in Ontario. And it provides a range of services to clients in architecture, structure design, urban planning, and engineering consultancy. So what I'm wondering, as a layman, is this site plan insufficient? Should the proposed garden suite be constructed based only on the information in this site plan? Should an up-to-date land survey be included in this proposal before it is approved? There appear to be, again, in this layman's opinion, some perplexing questions about the proposed project to build a garden suite at 65 Treverton Drive. Thanks for listening.
Thank you, sir. Panel members, do you have any questions for Mr. Labor? Mr. Khan?
Thank you, Madam Chair, through you. Sir, I would like to know the old survey and the new survey. Will it
Sir,
have-
you have to speak up. I'm hard of hearing. Sorry.
Can you hear me now?
A little bit louder if you can.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Thank you, sir. Now, am I okay?
Better, yeah.
Okay, sir. I will speak close to the mic. Sir, old survey you mentioned and the new survey you mentioned. We have one variance in front of us, which is the floor area of the garden suite. Will new survey will affect the garden areas?
Does the new survey affect the garden suite, are you saying?
I mean,
Hello?
we have one variance in front of us, and that is garden suite floor area. The new survey, will it have any effect on it?
I don't know. I mean, there is no, to my knowledge, sir, from Ms. LeBlanc, there is no new survey. The only survey was the one that was submitted originally, was done in 1999, which, of course, wouldn't show any of the present buildings as far as I know. And the site plan, what I'm suggesting is, that doesn't appear to me, and again, I'm a layman, sir, I'm no expert, does not appear to be a survey. And what I'm asking, is a survey required to have this garden suite approved, since no up-to-date survey was ever submitted? And the one that they did have done was done by an unlicensed company, according to the Ontario Association of Land Surveyors. I'm not sure if I'm answering your question, but
I just maybe can clarify with staff that the city, does it require showing all the buildings, or is it mainly about boundaries and streets on the surveys, the requirements for the city?
Through the chair, it's about the boundaries, the boundaries and the streets, rights of way or easement, legal description. It's not about the buildings as currently built.
Right, so it doesn't matter if it's an old survey, like the date, it's just as long as the boundaries, streets are correct is
That's
what
correct.
you're looking for.
That's correct.
Okay,
okay.
I just wanted to clarify that with staff, sir. Panel members, have any more questions of the speaker? Okay, seeing. All right, who wants to speak next?
Good morning, members of the committee.
Is there any way you can pull the mic closer?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you almost have to lean into it.
Okay. Good morning, members of the committee. My name is Maisie LeBlanc, and I live at 67 Treverton Drive, next door and to the north of the applicant. I am opposed to this variance. On December the 3rd, 2025, when this application was deferred, there was clear direction from this committee to the applicant to meet with us. To date, there has been no communication. On March 19th, 2025, I granted access to my backyard to an employee of 2698329 Ontario Inc. because the applicant was planning a renovation. When he left, he suggested that this renovation would cause drainage issues. Evidently, this updated survey was not included with this application. Why? Will I have more drainage issues in my backyard once the garden suite is built? There has been excess water in my backyard because their backyard consists mainly of interlocking brick/stone throughout and no grass. I currently have more drainage issues as well, since our driveways are side by side and their eaves trough is on my side of the driveway, causing an overflow of water on my driveway. MLS has been involved with this ongoing issue. If the garden suite is granted the variance, this will have an effect of shadowing in my backyard. This garden suite will be out of character with the neighborhood. Pertaining to the public hearing notice on Wednesday, February 11, 2026, 9:30 a.m., with respect to the purpose of the application, it states to construct a rear yard two-garden suite. The existing two-story detached dwelling will remain unaltered. There is a discrepancy here, as the existing two-story detached dwelling is actually a 1.5-story dwelling. According to a city staff, quote, based on the site plan, it seems the existing storage structure will remain, and there is a proposed garden suite to be constructed beside it. Are we looking at two different site plans? Because it shows that the existing storage shed will be part of the garden suite. I need some clarification with regards to this issue. As far as the 55.24% allotted for soft landscaping, the site plan shows the existing deck to be demolished. Since their deck at the back of the house continues to the front of the existing shed, does that mean this deck will be demolished as well, as it is not clear on the site plan? And what is under the deck? With two rental suites in their dwelling, as well as the 4-bedroom garden suite, where will all these cars be parked? Also, what about garbage bins, recycle bins? I wanted to note there are a number of bylaw issues with this applicant that have yet to be resolved. Property values and enjoyment. I treasure the time spent in my backyard, and I cannot imagine what the impact will be like with having a monstrosity like this garden suite next to my backyard. This would affect the enjoyment of my property and my well-being, as well as the financial impact on my property value. I understand that he can lawfully build it. My concern is that he not be allowed to build it any larger than what it is allowed. His lot is the same or similar in size as everyone else, and there are no extenuating circumstances that I am aware of that require this applicant to be given special consideration. And I agree with the previous speaker's comments. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. LeBlanc. Anybody have any questions for the speaker? Mr. Khan.
Thank you, Madam. Madam, my question is, you have talked about the parking. What kind of parking you are talking about?
Well, there's always 4 cars on their driveway. 2, one is a truck at the bottom of the driveway. It's there 7 days a week, 24 hours a day, does not move. There's another car at the top of the driveway, same scenario, is there 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. And they also have 2 cars that are double parked. So there's 4 cars.
Thank you.
And a walkway, but they're parked on the walkway. So.
Anybody have any other questions? Seeing none, thank you very much. Okay, who is going next? Morning, sir. Your name and address, and then you have 5 minutes.
Okay, good morning. My name is Ron Cole. I've lived at 99 Treverton Drive for 45 years. And I've read the variance and I have a few concerns. And one of the concerns, I think it was previously mentioned, that the COA application recommends that people are informed. As far as I know, Maisie, who lives at 67, has not been informed, has not been approached by this change that they want to do. I'm also confused about the 2 drawings that they had. And the city staff said that the garden suite is separate from the shed. But when you look at the drawing, it looks like they're almost attached. And it looks like they're planning to make the south portion another living area instead of a shed. And there's a concern about the quality of this proposed development based on the constant unfinished projects and questionable poor workmanship. This is an ongoing issue, and the property is in constant eyesore to the neighborhood. And it's important to see a drawing of what the building is going to look like if it is approved. Where was that provided? Further on to Maisie's comment about the parking, they widened the front driveway with interlocking brick, which is used for parking for 2 cars. So it's not a walkway anymore. So, and I phoned 311, no action has been taken place. So lastly, I've never had this kind of living next door to me, this kind of monstrous building beside me, and I have a pool in the backyard. And once, if something like that, my neighbor decides to put something like that in place, it'll provide shade for the pool, which won't keep the pool warm enough. So, and summarize, the footprint is larger than allowed. The building is higher than allowed, and the walls are higher than allowed, and no parking provided. Also, the distance of 18 inches between the properties, Maisie's property and the house. How do they get access to the walls on both sides of the buildings? 18 inches is not much work. Barely get a ladder in there. Okay, so I agree with the previous speaker's comments, and I support the request that you reject this proposal. So, thank you.
Thank you. Anybody have any questions for the speaker? No? Okay, thank you, sir.
Good. Thank you.
Dear members of the committee, my name is Denise Stocco. I live at 91 Treverton Drive. I reviewed the variance proposal. I have concerns with this application for a variance. In the FYI portion of the COA application, it strongly recommends that the applicant discuss this proposal with adjacent residents to address or alleviate concerns arising from the application. This was not done, and if it was, we need to know specifically who was involved. Currently, the front walkway is being used as overflow parking at this location. The proposed site plan identifies the driveway and walkway only as a driveway. This appears to not be a concern to the city, as garden suites only require 2 bicycle spots, but do they not require any auto parking? Street parking is already a safety concern. It will only continue to be a concern for family, neighbors, and is also unsightly, especially during the winter with plowing efficiency. There are currently drainage issues from the existing property structure. What is the plan to eliminate the concern, and where will the runoff go for an additional structure? The backyard is currently covered by cement blocks and does not meet the minimum landscaping bylaw of 50%. The cumulative front yard, porch, walkway, driveway are similar concerns and question how they will meet the requirements. The property has been a constant eyesore with consistently unfinished projects over the years that appear to be substandard and having to have city bylaw enforcement constantly involved. How can we trust the applicant will abide to bylaws and building codes? I've lived in this neighborhood for almost 28 years, and I love the time spent in my backyard. I cannot imagine what the impact would be of having this type of development built next door to me. This would affect my right to enjoy my property and my well-being, as well as financial impact on my property value. In summary, the footprint is larger than allowed, the proposed building is higher than allowed, and the walls are higher than permitted. As of right needs to be applied to all residents, and I agree with the previous speaker's comments, and I support the request for the committee to reject this proposal. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone have any questions for the speaker? Seeing none. Morning, afternoon, actually. Go ahead.
Okay, my name's Ron Parkinson. I live at 1093 Kingston Road in Scarborough. Although I recently moved away from the Treverton neighborhood, I've lived there at 55 Treverton for 37 years, raising my family in a safe and proud neighborhood. I support the comments from the previous speakers and also the concerns with this have concerns with this application. I'm also not aware of any attempts from the applicant to communicate with neighborhood residents. The area of the proposed garden suite exceeds the floor area by 60 square meters by 18.87 square meters. It appears that a suite no larger than the smaller of the 60 square meters footprint or 40% of the backyard is legal, provided that certain conditions are met, such as a 1.5 meter setback from the back property lines and 1.2 meters from the side property lines. 50% of the rear yard must be soft light landscaping, such as grass. Previous owners added an addition across the back of their home in 1999 and don't know if there was a permit. However, it's obvious that the expanded home has also encroached in the landscape. And is this not considered in the 50% landscaping requirements? The maximum height of the unit is governed by the distance from the main residential unit. 4 meters is the maximum unless proposed suite is at least 7.5 meters away from the main residential structure. 6 meters or roughly 20 feet in height is allowed in this case. However, the building must be tapered at 45 degrees above the 4 meter mark. The submitted elevation drawings show a finished elevation of 6.3 meters, which is 300 millimeters or 1 foot taller than allowed. The drawings do not take the taper requirement into account. The wall may only extend to 4 meters and then become tapered at a 1-to-1 pitch to a maximum of 6 meters. I haven't seen an architect's drawing of the garden suite. Should it have been included, and is it possible to see it now? Parking concerns has been mentioned. The current walkway and driveway are completely full all the time. It raises safety issues for people that are going to be living in the back part of it and probably in the underground or the basement dwellings as well. The original home is also building a 2 rental suite in addition to their 3 bedrooms. Isn't there a limit to how many bedrooms can be added to a property? The garden suite only requires 2 bicycle spots. The front walkway is being used by overflow parking. There's also currently 4 to 5 vehicles there squeezed into the front. With 4 garden suite bedrooms and current building permits for the basement rentals, it raises more cumulative effects and concerns from the neighbor, not just 65 Treverton, but for the entire neighborhood. Setting a precedent is dangerous, in my opinion, for safe roads, families, and neighborhoods. In summary, the best determination of future behavior is past behavior. Unfortunately, we're here again to present. The footprint is larger than allowed, and the 65 Treverton owner applicant had an opportunity with their as of right to apply for the garden suite by simply following the building guidelines. But as stated by the residents, they continuously push the envelope. They've chosen to neglect the process requests by not posting the signage as initially required, have never approached the residents in advance and with their plans, and have requested more exceptions to their proposed building, which is higher and greater than allowed. Therefore, on behalf of the Treverton residents, I ask the committee to reject this proposal for the exceptions and ensure building codes are strictly and timely enforced in any building projects at this location to serve and to protect Treverton neighborhoods. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Any questions, panel members? Seeing none, thank you very much.
Okay.
Good morning. Actually, I mean good afternoon, Madam Chair and committee members. My name is Peter Thatchuk, and I am a member of the Scarborough United Neighborhoods and a resident of Scarborough. I am speaking in opposition to this requested variance and will try to be brief. Firstly, I was in attendance at the previous hearing and concur with all the previous speakers who have mentioned that the direction of this committee regarding communication with the neighbors was apparently ignored. My concern is that in this form, if the applicant claims in his period of rebuttal that he did try to get in touch we have no recourse to respond. I would also like to add that having visited the site, including the backyard of the neighbor at 67 Treverton, who you've heard from this morning, and I'd also like to add, I hope all committee members do site visits because I think it's imperative. But I digress. I visited 67 Treverton, abutting the subject to the north, the property that will most be impacted by loss of light. I concur with all of the previous speakers regarding overspill parking, drainage, adverse impact, and concerns regarding structural integrity, overall massing, and the conflict or trying to understand what is under the deck that they have promised to remove. Secondly, and for the record, while I understand the committee has a narrow scope into determining whether a proposed development is both appropriate and desirable in the application of the 4 tests, I believe it is important to acknowledge that the allowance of garden suites is a more recent controversial change in the residential zones of Scarborough. So with much input from all sides, people who were in opposition, people who are in favor, planning and our elected representatives made a decision that on balance allows secondary suites so long as they remain subordinate to the primary residence. They did this by putting restrictions on a number of criteria, including maximum floor space indexes, or as I like to think, because I'm older, square footage, in order to create a subordinate suite that doesn't rival the size of the primary residence. So I'm saying to this committee, a variance for 138.87 meters squared or 1,475 square feet subordinate suite should be denied as it is simply too large when the as of right is 120 meters squared or 1,292 square feet. I am saying this because a 1,475 square foot garden suite on this lot would not look subordinate to the primary. It would rival it. Please remember, denying this request doesn't mean that the applicant cannot build a garden suite. It just means they cannot build one this large. Thirdly, if my above argument and the voices of a substantial number of neighbors isn't sufficient to persuade you that this proposal isn't minor, may I also add that while applicants have a right to request a minor variance, they also have a corresponding obligation to discharge their burden of proof. They have failed, in my opinion, to distinguish their lot as anything but typical, and for typical lots in this neighborhood, zoning has determined, planning has determined, and our elected representatives have determined 120 meters squared or 1,290 square feet is the maximum as of right size. In order to make sure I haven't missed something regarding the applicant's obligation to discharge their burden of proof, I have reviewed their application for this proposal. Specifically, I have reviewed their written answer to the question of why, if not, is it not possible to comply. I will read their answer verbatim. The existing structure used for storage is proposed for renovation with addition to convert it in the 2-story garden suite. The total floor area of 69.16 square meters is proposed, requesting 9.16 square meter of additional floor area than required 60 square meters. I guess they were talking about the GFA. But now, to my ear, this sounds more like a resuscitation of their desires and not a discharging of their burden of proof. In summary, while it is true that neighborhoods are dynamic and must and will change, it is equally true that a requested variance cannot be considered minor if it is too large or too important. And I know committee will say in response that you don't set precedent, but the fact is when something this large is allowed, the next person coming up will use it as a reference point. In my opinion, in this instance, the requested variances for FSI is both too large and too important to be considered either minor or appropriate, and therefore must be denied. It is equally important to note that denying this requested variance does not preclude the applicant from building a garden suite as of right. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Mr. Stinson has a question for you.
Yeah, hold on. That was very good. Thank you for your presentation. A couple things. Yes, people will often cite precedent, but it doesn't mean we follow their information and their thought process that it's precedent setting. Each case and file we decide upon stands on its own merits for a variety of contextual matrix factors. So you mentioned that it sets precedent, but not with us. We individually think it through. Also, you were correct in saying we do have a narrow mandate that relies on the 4-test rule. And I think this is a good time to address one of the other speakers, all of you very well spoken today, talked about community consultation. And frankly, this committee of adjustment asks you to make your views known, come in here. That's what we state on our own literature. And we're on our own committee of adjustment site. We also talk about Toronto working to improve transparency and service. So clearly we want consultation and discussions to happen in the community with applicants and developers. And just to go further, the city itself promotes transparency, engagement, and consultation in all the interactions of its various departments, including planning and buildings and things like that. My point being, it's not a mandatory factor before this committee for consultation. We just strongly encourage it in keeping with our city's idea of transparency and open government. So I hope that addressed some of the things you've said.
I hear you on the latter point, and I understand that, member, through the chair member. What I respectfully don't necessarily agree with, because I have been present and I can actually cite an example where the applicant has cited precedent, and committee may not have taken it into consideration, but they also did not articulate that they weren't taking it into consideration. I don't have to remind anybody on committee that justice not only has to be done, it has to be perceived as being done. So I hear what you say. I know that to be true, but it is not the practice that I've seen from this very board within the last 3 months. Thank you.
Can I just ask you something? I don't know if, do you know if you know the answer? The backyard, I thought I heard it mentioned, is it paved?
What is there, and this is as best I can tell, there is the shed that we've been hearing about, and that there's a deck, and that deck goes over, and correct me if I'm wrong here, it goes up the side and along there to the back of the rear of the addition that was apparently put in 1999. I believe the applicant has said that they are taking that deck away. My question is, are you increasing the soft landscaping if underneath it is paved or there's interlocking brick? And the application remains silent on it, and perhaps the applicant can tell us. I certainly wasn't able to look and tell what was underneath.
Like,
Yep.
we can't go in the back, as you know, but I'm looking on Google Maps. It doesn't look like grass to me. So I'm wondering, setting aside the deck, is it just, or you don't know the answer to the question?
They're right here. The neighbors will tell you.
Right behind the house is a deck.
Right? And then
And that's what they say they're going to remove. They don't say exactly all the deck.
past that, what looks like a deck, it looks like it's all brown. Everything's brown. Is there any grass back there? The reason I'm asking.
That's stone.
It's all stone.
It's like interlocking stone. So there's no grass in that backyard at all.
Right. So in essence, the removal of that variance, we're to assume there's grass under the deck they're going to remove because there's no other grass anywhere, is what I'm.
We don't know.
Yeah, you don't know, but what I'm getting at, there is no grass there now to be seen. It's all stone.
So all the stone would have to be removed to be legitimate.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
And that's not been answered for us. So that's why.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Ms. McCauley has a question. Hang on. I don't know of the last speaker.
I'm not sure which of you would have this answer, but I'm looking at the site plan that the applicant has submitted. And behind the proposed building, there is a setback, I guess, of about 4 feet. And there at the bottom of that, it says easement area. At the top, the shed covers over the easement area. Now, I'm familiar with a number of properties in Scarborough where there is an easement over the rear yard for rear yard drainage. I'm wondering if this easement, the applicants are obviously listed as an easement. If you know what it's for, is it for rear yard drainage or?
I don't know, but maybe,
So the back of the sheds, there's an easement, you'll call it that, with the fence there. It goes onto the hydro path, the bike lane sort of thing. To the north, where Maisie is, there is no easement there, and that's where the water's coming through. Correct? Yeah.
Does she have an easement on her property?
No.
Because the easement, if it's a drainage easement, it would run up and down all the properties.
There's no drainage that goes up and down.
The storage shed is over part of the easement, but the rest of the new gardens shed is moved further away from it. So I'm wondering why
That's a great question.
this easement.
So that's a great question, and I think the applicant should be able to speak to that one, because things are all cut. When everything's cemented over, I don't know what easement could be underneath it.
Okay, thank you.
Well,
I think
It's covered in snow too. We couldn't see that either, but,
the applicant is listening and
okay, so if they could comment.
dismiss you guys, but we're getting a little bit off track from planning issues here, so I just want to rein it back in. Any other questions anybody has? No? Okay, so let's go back to the applicant then.
Thank you, everyone. I have listened to a lot of things, and the only thing which I will say is that city has gone through each and everything in very much detail. That's why I've said in the beginning that all the residents should have a faith on the city staff, so that they are looking very closely to what are the things which should be according to the bylaw. I understand that they have the issues regarding the drainage, and they have few questions that the deck is there, there's the stones, or there's no greenery. I agree, whatever is there. That's why we have submitted this site plan showing that where will be the landscaping and how much the area which was covered before with the stones or the deck that will be removed, and the grass or the soft landscaping will be there. And regarding the levels, I just want to address here that we have hired a person who can go and do the topography of the area so that we can find out the exact height of the proposed garden suite. And everybody is thinking that he's the surveyor and he's doing the surveyor. He's not the surveyor. He was just doing the topography, and that he's allowed to do that. And they have made a complaint against that guy to the MLS. Anyhow, that issue is resolved. So we have the topography of the area. We have the exact levels, so there will be no drainage issues. As per the law, we will be going through the Ontario One call before starting any work, so that there should not, if there is any previous underground facilities that can be saved. But we have followed the boundary survey of the old boundary survey we have submitted. And whatever the current condition is, we are trying to make it better so that the neighbors and nobody has any issues regarding the drainage and the, but I can't say anything regarding what is currently over there. My job is to make everything as per the bylaws, and we have fulfilled all the criterias, and the only thing which you are asking for is the extra floor area, and everything is as per the order. And if they have any questions regarding any other thing, they can contact the city.
Okay.
Thank you.
Panel members, do you have any questions for the agent? Okay, I'll ask one. I mean, there's been mention of the size of the of this garden suite. Why is it you can't make it smaller or build something smaller? Is there a particular reason you need a large footprint? Just curious.
Yeah, sure. As per the background, there is an existing storage over there. And I have been provided with a approved site plan from 22 October 2002 that this shed was approved, and it has a city stamp, but it was hand drawn. And now, because of the owner's extended family, his sons are married, so he doesn't want his family to look for the residence outside. So he wanted to have a house at the backyard so that his son and his family can move over there, and nobody has to look for the residence. So that's the main reason. And using to save the cost, we propose to have use the existing storage and convert it into second unit. And as per the bylaws, we have tried to accommodate the extension so that they can, with the family, they can leave with ease and with all the requirements they have. So the design we came up with was getting a little bit higher than the required floor area. So that's why we decided that we should apply for to the Minor Variance Committee to get that exception, rather than changing the design. So we just want to try that if we can get the permission, so that whoever is living, they should be living as per their will and as their wish. So that's why we have made the design, and it's getting a little bit more. And it's not uncommon that with this much of extension, the project is not approved or the minor variance is not approved. It's like very common practice.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so there's no other questions, panel members? Let's take it into committee then. Mr. Stinson.
Oh, thanks, Chair. The committee knows what we have to do, and that is to look at the 4-test rule. And we are not, by extension, MLS or the bylaw department. And the city departments have not refused or put even conditions on this beyond the community planning. And I think there's a Metrolinx to condition, which we have sway to go either way. I struggle. I see all the residents before us today, and I'm looking at them now, and I'm thinking how frustrated they are where this is going. But I don't have the power as a committee member to start being bylaw or MLS. I only have the power within the 4-test rules, one of the speakers spoke today. And within that boundary, I can't see a reason to deny the application at this point. So I just want to put that out there and hear from the rest.
Ms. McCauley.
Thank you. I too am struggling with this application. Every time I look at the application, it raises more issues and more questions. I think the whole thing has been poorly put together, and they've made some changes. The variance that we have in front of us is really for the size of the garden suite. The issues we have are how that garden suite and its fits on the lot with the extended driveway of parking, with the extension of the existing building, and whatever is going to happen to the terrace that's there, and the building that up. As I said, the more I look at this application, the more I have questions about it. Our issues are for the garden suite. Does it maintain the general intent and purpose of the official plan? I would have to say, yes, garden suites are permitted in the official plan. Does it maintain the general intent and purpose of the zoning bylaw? Well, no, that's why we have the variance in front of us. It doesn't maintain the zoning bylaw. The size of the unit is larger than what the zoning bylaw provides. We often deal with that issue and look at the next issue. the next issue is it desirable for the appropriate development or use of the land? Looking at this, looking at the issues of the garden suite, looking at the issues of marrying a new structure with an existing structure, with rear yards that don't match from the new structure and the existing structure, with issues over why is there an easement listed on the plans. I have a lot of questions about this. I have so many questions that I'm going to have to agree with the residents. This is not desirable for the appropriate development and use of the land. Those are my comments at this stage.
Okay, anybody else have any comments? Mr. Howe?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I want to start off by saying the city's OP8 amendment generally permits garden suite, so that's where I'll start with that. And the concerns we heard today, I could probably summarize them in two main categories: parking and drainage issues. I'll address drainage issue first, right? We heard from the applicant, they're removing various number 2. So they're making they're removing soft landscaping reduction in their variance. That means they'll comply with the 50% that's currently required under the zoning bylaw. And we see from the community planning's report, the planner stating, and I quote, "The removal of rear yard ground floor deck and the addition of 2 trees increases the site's capacity to accommodate soft landscaping, supports groundwater, stormwater infiltration, and contributes to the city's urban tree canopy." So in their expert opinion, they think the current proposal is an improvement and will address drainage issues. The next issue, parking, that we heard the most. Unfortunately, the city has decided to move in the direction of not requiring minimum parking. So there's no parking variances before us. And so that's not within our purview to address at this committee. So the only issue left for us to decide, right, is whether the 18 square meter variance, that's the size that's being increased, put before us today, whether that's minor or not. And in my opinion, that's about 10% of the overall allowed size. And in my opinion, that is minor. And I think that meets the 4 tests of the Planning Act. So those are my comments, subject to my colleagues' thoughts as well.
Well, I'm conflicted on it. I understand a lot of the concerns, as has been outlined by my colleagues and I mentioned, are really not related to this committee. I'm very sympathetic. I think most of us deal with these kinds of issues in our own neighborhoods where we live, and it's very frustrating. Having said that, we only have one variance before us. And, my concern was with, can they actually comply with the soft landscaping, which variance has been removed? Yes, and I can only hope that the city makes sure that they do meet the 50%. In terms of the structure, I mean, it's abutting. I mean, it's got like a park pathway behind it. There's nothing at the back that it's impacting. There's a railway line. And although it is larger than permitted, I don't feel that it's impacting any sight lines for any of the neighbors. And from that perspective, as a committee member, I would also be inclined to support this application. And I think that in a lot of cases, perhaps, it is difficult for us and perhaps more direction by communities needs to be given to the province and the intensification that they're going in. But this committee, we try to, we have to look at the things that we're tasked to look at. So I too will be supporting it. No comment. Oh, Mr. Khan, did you want to speak? Okay, Mr. Khan.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Sometimes there are difficulties in deciding because the applicant as well as the people who have objections to the proposal is little difficult to decide. Having two variances in front of us and listening to the neighborhood people who are here, I appreciate their input. I was thinking many times what to do and how can we rethink about it. But one thing I have to convey to our people who are here, that planning staff is the one which goes through a very thorough investigation of the application. And having their recommendation before the committee, we do pay large attention what they are saying, but at the same time, we do hear you, and that makes it very difficult for me to decide. But taking one variance out, as our chair has just mentioned, 50% requirement of the soft landscape taken out. So there is only one variance, which is the floor area. And that in consideration and taking the recommendation from the staff and making the amendments, I'm also of the opinion that probably this variance meet the criteria of approval. And that's my situation. That's my position.
All right, I'll need a motion. I'll call to you, Mr. Stinson, or Ann, if you want to say something else, or you're.
Yeah, I'd like to say something else. I've listened to the comments of my colleagues here. I respect those comments, and they've addressed the purpose of this variance and the issues that we have to look at. I don't like this application, but that doesn't mean that I can refuse it. It means I have to consider it. Having considered my comments from my colleagues and considered the staff recommendation, the staff recommendation is they want to be ensured that the application that we see is the one that gets built, that they don't start to change anything. And so the staff have recommended that the proposed site plan as prepared and received by the staff on January 22nd and illustrated on figures 1 and 2 attached to this report, and that the application has to comply with that site plan. It also says any other variances, kind of a standard statement, that appear on these plans and are not listed are not authorized. So basically the staff are saying, we've done the best we can, given what we've got, given that it is a very small variance in terms of numbers, and given the impact, as the chair has said, because it backs onto the corridor, the hydro corridor, there isn't a great deal of impact on the rear. I'm going to change my comments to say I'm in support of this application.
Okay, Mr. Stinson.
Thank you, Chair. I'm going to move that we approve this amended application in accordance with the conditions of community planning and also Metrolinx.
Okay. All right, I have a motion to approve the application, including the community planning conditions and Metrolinx conditions, moved by Mr. Stinson, seconded by Mr. Khan. All in favor? That carries unanimously. Thank you, everyone, for coming out and expressing your opinions, and we stand adjourned at 12:39.